now at Petco Park. If you don't laugh, you would cry. So yesterday, the Padres lose against the Orioles. You're like, well, man, things are really going bad. They've lost 4 of 5. And today is an abject disaster. Nestor Cortez has allowed 4 home runs. The Orioles have now opened up a 7-0 lead. They're innings away from sweeping the Padres at Petco Park. And where do you even go here? I mean, what is your concern level at right now? I've been saying for days on end, Jim, it's a blip. They're still a postseason team. They just need to get through this stretch. They still have an easy schedule. At what point does the concern become real that the Padres have just completely evaporated in front of our eyes, on the verge of getting swept at home by the Orioles? It would be a 5th loss in their last 6 games, 8-10. Cortez can't get anyone out. It's home run derby. I mean, where do you even go right now with what's playing out with the Padres at Petco?
Oh, the concern level's high. And it started when Mike Shildt even said so a couple of nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, it's concerning. I forget the exact wordage that he used, but he said something that Mike Shildt never says, which is, yeah, it's a major concern. And the major concern was the fact that these starters are not throwing deep into games. It is completely wrecking their bullpen, and the offense can't score enough runs because, they're just putting all this pressure on themselves. And by the way, they're being told to bunt when guys are on first base early in the game. It's right now. It's bad. That's where I'm going with
that's
it.
I mean,
it's bad.
It is really, really bad. I'll be honest with you. We all watched what happened in 2023. They never got going. They were never in this position in 2023. We watched them in 2021, where for half a year they were really good, and for half a year they were awful. The wheels completely fell off. I didn't see it. I still don't see it like 2021 or 2023. I mean, they entered the day 6 games up in a playoff spot with 23 to play. We're only 2 weeks removed from them being 14-3.
I know.
Over a 17-game stretch. But what we're watching play out, I mean, the story is their starters give them no length.
It's
9
bad.
consecutive games where you haven't had a starter go more than 5 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day, it's the same thing. You're trailing in the first inning. I mean, to trail 7-0 to anyone, you're obviously going to lose 99% of the time. But to do it at home in front of these crowds against the Baltimore Orioles, we had Jeff Arnold yesterday calling games for the Orioles. He wasn't kidding when he said the Orioles' plan is to ruin someone's season in the final month of the year. They may be doing it right now to the San Diego Padres. I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't think getting swept at home by the Orioles is ending someone's season. But, I mean, the alarm is every alarm is going off.
Yeah.
If you're a Padres fan right now, how could it not be?
Yeah, this is not in June. This isn't in even July or even, this is, hey, you got 23 games remaining in your season, and your starting rotation is crumbling before our very eyes, and your star players are all in slumps, and you're getting swept by the Orioles, and you're losing series on the road to the Twins. You can't beat the Dodgers. Luckily, they had that 14-3 stretch earlier in August, in the end of July, early in August. And I think that will carry them to the postseason. I'm knock on wood at this point.
I mean, knock on everything.
Because this is deeply concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to Colorado this weekend.
Who even knows?
That place is a house of horrors for you.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea when Michael King is going to return or what he's going to look like. Mike Shildt said as such. Yu Darvish is a complete shell of himself. I think he's injured. Nick Pivetta is the only guy you can rely on. And if he doesn't give you 6 or 7 innings, then it's like the only guy you could rely on in your rotation to give you length isn't giving you length, and it just trickles down. Dylan Cease is a complete disappointment this year. Luckily they had those 2 14-3 stretches in them this year, because every other part of their schedule other than those 32 games?
34.
34. I can't do math. Other than those 34 games, this team has been bad.
But how did we go from a month ago to win a World Series? You can't have any weak links. So there's no strong link a month later. I mean, I can't point anywhere. You have what happened to your bullpen with Jason Adam. You have the rotation you just laid out. You have a lineup that over these 10 days, and I agree with you, they're flailing because they're pressing, because they're trailing. It's not an easy way to play when you're trailing each and every game. But you went from a situation where a month ago, like, man, they addressed their lineup. They addressed their bullpen with Mason Miller. They addressed the rotation. They're going to get Michael King back. They even added some depth. And now a month later, after a 14-3 stretch in August, it's so Padre-like. Even after addressing their needs, even after playing well, even after taking over first place in their division as recently as 10 days ago, they're now like on the brink here where they need to put together something in order to, certainly make the postseason. Like, you're not just going to, the one thing they can't do, we went through this yesterday, they can't completely stumble down the stretch. They can't afford to play like this for 3 weeks. They can't go 6-16 or something like that. They're asking for trouble. So they're still going to need to win. And what we're seeing right now, I mean, it's not a guarantee is the point. The Colorado series, the home series against the Reds, you still have to go to Citi Field to take on the New York Mets. And they haven't played well against bad teams like Minnesota and Baltimore. So all of a sudden, it's like, you got to pick yourself up. You're not backing into this thing. And you got to play well immediately beginning this weekend in Colorado.
Dennis had a tweet this morning that, everyone's saying, oh, this feels like 2021. And we're like, slow down. This isn't 2021. That team, they completely collapsed and they had way more injuries than this team has to it. And I think this team is significantly better than the 2021 team. But Dennis did have a tweet that kind of brought you back and gave you some PTSD. This morning he wrote, this is just a caption in an article, said the Padres haven't recorded a start of more than 5 innings in 8 consecutive games. Now it is 9. It's their longest such streak since the final 9 games of 2021. The year that everything fell apart in the second half.
Right.
And they were one of the better teams in baseball through July. And then they just fell off a cliff. I'm hoping that doesn't happen here. Because for everything that I've criticized Mike Shildt for, the one thing I can't criticize him for is keeping a clubhouse together. And that clubhouse in 2021 fell apart. No one believed in the manager, the general manager, and the manager. It was like a them versus the team, and it just became an S show in the clubhouse. We know that. Coaches, and they're fighting with each other. It was all bad. I don't think this is the case with this team. I could be wrong, but that's the one thing I do believe in Mike Shildt is keeping the team together. But they're playing very similarly to what they did in 2021.
And you're right, they are. But the difference is in 2021, there was time for the collapse. I mean, the collapse played out over months. They went from 18 over to finishing under 500. It was an epic failure. Their final 60 games were as bad as last year's final 60 games were good, right? I mean, look at the depths of their despair in 2021. It was something like a 9-37 finish. Like, it was unbelievable. There's not really time for that. After today, there's 22 games. There's no 9-37 finish that's even possible in 2025. So, like, as in, they might be saved by the bell, but I'm going to go back to something I said 2 minutes ago. They might not be.
No.
Because if they truly play like this for 3 weeks, if they actually never return to the team we saw earlier this month or in August, and they lose series to teams like Colorado and the Chicago White Sox and whomever else, then they'll be asking for trouble. I mean, if this thing gets down to like, hey, you've got a 3-game lead on a playoff spot. Right now it's 5, right? Or it's 6 heading into the day. If this gets down to 3 or 4 games, you're putting so much pressure on yourself. You're going to play so tight. I don't think they're playing tight because of their positioning in the standings. But this gets down to 2 or 3 games, you are opening up the possibility of an absolute nightmare where everything changes for the organization. And I don't want to go down that path. I've been saying it for weeks on end or days on end. I don't want to go down that path. But at some point, aren't we going to have to go down that path?
It's coming up here very quickly. And, the one thing right now that's the biggest problem with this team, other than the fact that Manny Machado has completely gone MIA and Fernando Tatis Jr., whatever, right? It's the pitching.
Starting pitching.
The deadline, they made a bunch of moves. I think for the most part, a lot of those moves have panned out. But trading away Stephen Kolek and Ryan Bergert, and then deciding to replace the loss of those two with Nestor Cortez. And look, I like Freddie Fermin, okay? But I mean, they're doing the same things with Freddie Fermin as they did with Martin Maldonado. And Freddie Fermin, if you look at the numbers, he had a couple doubles the other night. It's good. But they're pinch hitting for him. They're taking him out of games. They're turning into a bunter, sack bunts here, and sack bunts there. You want to know what Ryan Bergert is doing in Kansas City right now?
Probably better than Nestor Cortez.
Probably is an understatement. In 5 starts with the Royals, 28 and a third innings pitched, 25 strikeouts, 8 walks, is a 2.54 ERA. You think the Padres could use that over Freddie Fermin?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's clear as day on September 3rd when you've lost a million games in a row and you're losing 7-0.
And it wasn't like he didn't get a shot with the Padres either.
He was good with the Padres
he did
this year.
He made 7 starts with the Padres. He appeared in 11 games overall, and he had a 2.78 ERA and 35 2/3 innings pitched. So it wasn't like the Padres didn't play him, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh, Kansas City unlocked something, right?
Right, he was already good.
He was already good, and they decided to give that up, along with Stephen Kolek, who hasn't done much for Kansas City, but it's still depth, for a catcher that has never been a starter in the big leagues. And then again, this is nothing against Freddie Fermin. I'm just saying, what would you rather have right now? Would you rather have Bergert and Kolek, or would you rather have Fermin and Cortez?
I think the hedge by AJ's stance was keeping Cease. I think he said, I can afford to get rid of Ryan Bergert. He's in my back pocket. I have Dylan Cease. For example, let's say you kept Bergert.
Yeah.
And you move Cease. I think if you're AJ Preller, you're thinking, well, I'm keeping the experience piece that at least for 2025 is going to give me maybe more of an opportunity. This is what I think he's thinking in real time. Then I'm keeping Cease. Yeah. But we said this. We said the issue can't be that you run out of starting pitching. You can never have too much.
Never.
We said we don't know what the deal is with Michael King. We don't know what the deal is with Yu Darvish.
Right.
And we don't know what the deal is with Dylan Cease because he was just struggling.
Correct.
So we just didn't know if he would turn his season around. Now, I thought by holding on to Cease, they made an effort to say, listen, we have enough starting pitching in our estimation to get through the next 2 months. Guess what? The bet was probably wrong. They have not had enough starting pitching, clearly. That's so evident. Now, can you hold on and get in? My guess is yes. The percentages would say yes. You have a much more likely chance than not to make the postseason. But, I mean, at this point, okay, you get into the postseason, but what are we even watching? I mean, who's pitching in these postseason games if the Padres are in?
And it doesn't all revolve around the fact that they gave up Bergert and Kolek.
No, I don't think so. I don't
like
think
if those, yeah, it's not like, oh, if those two guys were here and if Ryan Bergert was starting in place of Nestor Cortez, everything would be great. And the Padres would be leading the division and looking for a 2 seed.
Probably not that simple.
The core players of this team, the Mannies, the Fernando Tatis Jr., the Jackson Merrill, those are also huge pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And those guys have all gone missing. So it's a combination of things, but you also can't say that if they had Bergert, things would be maybe slightly different.
Sure.
Because I think they would be.
Yeah, potentially. I'll say this. I mean, again, by leaving the door open, and you have Cincinnati coming here, what, next week? You think they're not going to be motivated if they're within, let's say, 4 games of you?
Right.
With 3 games against the team that's in front of them. So this is all on the Padres. Based on the way they're playing, lost 7 of 9 coming in. It's about to be 8 of 10 after this Orioles series. We'll continue to react on the other side. We'll get your calls, 877-767-4760. We'll get Kevin Acee's reaction at 5:30. We'll hear from Mike Shildt postgame. We'll switch gears at 2:30, catch up with the voice of the Washington State Cougars. Chris King will join us. Aztecs and Cougars coming up Saturday in Pullman at 7:15 p.m. But on the other side, much more reaction to what's playing out at Petco Park. It's been an S show all week long for the Padres. We react on the other side of Jon and Jim. All right, Chris King, voice of Washington State, will join us at 2:30 in about 10 or so minutes. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, at 5:30. It has been all Orioles, to put it mildly, the last 3 days. They lead the Padres 7-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning, something you don't see every day. And you watch enough baseball, you'll see everything. Although even watching your whole life, you can see something you've never seen. The Orioles went back to back to back today against Nestor Cortes. That is not easy to do. They also homered to lead off the game. And they lead 7-0. They chase Nestor Cortes. What are you even doing if you're AJ Preller with this rotation moving forward? How can Cortes start in 5 days? I don't care who's pitching in AAA. You have to have a better option. So it's 7-0. And barring a ridiculous comeback, the Padres have an off day to worry about where they are right now. Losers of 8 of 10 if they lose this game here today.
Do you want to play the guess what Mike Shildt will say after another pathetic, lifeless loss game?
Yeah, what'd you put last night in terms of the options?
I'm confident in this team.
He will definitely say that.
Which actually was the winner last night, by the way.
He said a number of things, but yes, he said that. Yeah.
I love our fight. I don't know if he'll say that today.
Can't say that, can you?
I don't think he'll say that today.
Okay. Unless if they score 2 in the ninth. If they score 2 in the ninth and lose 8-2.
Yeah. Praise a random pitcher to eat innings like today.
Sean Reynolds is eating like 2 innings here.
Praise Sean Reynolds for eating some innings.
Saved our bullpen.
Exactly. Or yell at Kevin Acee.
That's our Mike Shildt post-game bingo board today.
It is.
That. What about this?
Now, I can only have 4 options on Twitter, but we could have more.
What about the schedule makers didn't do us any favors?
That one on Monday night or Monday afternoon or Monday night, whatever.
What about it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And Baltimore is one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. I don't care what the record is.
You could say that even though they just lost a series to the Giants before they came here.
Right. Or I'll tell you, man, I'm tipping my cap to Alex Povich or whatever this guy's name is.
Well, I have no idea.
I have no idea who his name is or what his name is
right now.
What did he come
Maurice
in?
Kid.
What was exactly? What was his ERA coming in? It was over 5.
Probably
it was
5 something.
Povich or
the amount of times that I spent on the Orioles roster is very little.
The amount of time you spend on anything is very little. 5.04 ERA, 2-7.
Oh, great.
5.04.
So he looks like
Kershaw tonight. 1.5 whip.
Perfect.
1.5 whip guy.
A 1.5 whip,
which is
guy.
Nestor Cortes. By the way,
1.5 whip is
a 1.5 whip guy.
Will someone flip a table?
Dude, it was 7-0 before Elias Diaz came to the plate in the last inning.
We were in the back of the iHeart radio station in an office.
Right.
And we were talking about something like completely not related to the show.
It was 1-0.
And I looked at my phone and it was 1-0. And then we started talking about something else.
Or like home run.
And then I looked back at my phone. I'm like, it's 5-0. And then I refreshed and I was like, it's 6-0.
Now it's 7-0.
Before I could even know what the hell happened and realize that Nestor Cortes gave up back-to-back-to-back home runs on 3 consecutive pitches.
That's hard to do. How many pitchers in baseball history?
That's impressive.
How many pitchers in the history of the sport, which has been played 150 years, have allowed a leadoff home run and then later back-to-back-to-back home runs in a game?
Well, Nestor Cortes has done it. In the
history of the sport. There's no way it's more than 3.
Maybe ask ChatGPT.
I don't think ChatGPT even knows that, but I want to know in the history of the sport if that's happened more than 3 times. And we got to all witness that here today. 877-767-476. Let's go to the phones, Brian. Eric's been very patient on line 1. Eric, you're with us on Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling back in.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah, just listening in. And, all season long, we've been talking about it's a long season, right? We've been saying it up until last week. Yesterday, day before, well, it's not a long season. And starting pitching has been a problem with the sample size of the first 30 games of the season. 6 times through the starting rotation there, we knew we weren't going to have the quality starts that you need. And still to this day, fortunately, we had a bullpen to contemplate the lack of depth in starting pitching innings-wise. And as for the offense, I'm going to stick to this. They're the most deceiving lineup in all of baseball. Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth, all these guys. I'd rather have them mediocre and in the batting lineup than in the IL for the whole year. And then we get these other kids from AAA up. Thank you very much.
Did you say Chipotle?
I listen. I want Chipotle right now.
Did Eric just say and Chipotle? Thank you much. What?
Honestly, I want Chipotle right now.
You do?
I mean, it's better than this.
You don't eat Chipotle.
I do. They have veggie options and they're good.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Is it barbacoa?
Yes, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
You also could get like just veggies.
Just
like
veggies
grilled
in the burrito, thank you. Or like the veggie bowl.
Yeah. With like guacamole,
Sauteed,
sour cream, some corn on top.
peppers.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, anything's better than this.
Yeah, we might talk more about
take
Chipotle today than the Padres.
I'll take a knitting class. Knitting is more fun than this. I mean, honestly, to talk about this obsessive, maybe not knitting.
My mom likes
talk
knitting.
about this as obsessively as we talk about it each and every day, hours upon hours upon hours.
Mhm.
Who saw this detour coming this late in the year? They were 14. When did the 14-3 stretch end, Jim?
It ended at the beginning of August, or right around the beginning of August. So they won 5 in a row going into the trade deadline.
So that's at least 2 weeks into August. It wasn't that long ago, is my point.
And their 14-3 stretch,
when did it end?
Ended the day before their 3-game series at Dodger Stadium.
So that Thursday off day, we were at Snapdragon Stadium for FanFest less than 3 weeks ago. 20 days ago. This is Thursday. 20 days ago.
Michael King went on the IL and everything all went to hell.
Amazing what can happen in 20 days. That late in the year, you can take a detour. Now, can they return to form? Can they return to form? I have no idea. I honestly don't.
So after this game today, they'll be 7-12 since their 14-3 stretch.
It feels way worse than that.
It does, because when you get swept by a team, it feels much worse. And if you put that down, if you condense it down to more recently, right? Because they did have a 5-game winning streak after their 14-3 stretch, and after they got swept at Dodger Stadium. If you remember, they took 3 of 4 from the Giants, and they took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and then they're tied in the National League West. But the Seattle, or I guess the Sunday game against the Dodgers, is when this slide officially started. They are, since that day, they'll be 2-8.
They led that game, going for a sweep of the Dodgers behind Nick Pivetta, 2-1 in the 6th inning.
And all hell broke loose.
All right, Chris King is the voice of the Washington State Cougars. Aztecs Cougars coming up Saturday night. He'll join us on the other side. Stay with us. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Aleve. It's not good at Petco Park. Padres trying to avoid the sweep from the last place Orioles. Right now, they trail the Orioles 7-0 in the top of the 5th inning there. They have an off day tomorrow before they start the series on the road against the Colorado Rockies. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with the pain less throughout the day. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
All right. Thankfully, we can turn our attention outside of Petco Park for a few minutes. Padres trailing the Orioles, as Jim just told you, 7-0, looking to avoid a home sweep at the hands of Baltimore. Aztecs will be in Pullman on the Palouse coming up Saturday night at 7:15. Pregame coverage right here beginning at 5:15. Great to connect with Chris King, who is the voice of the Washington State Cougars. They're coming off a week 1 win, just like San Diego State. So, Chris, appreciate you hopping on for a few minutes. We're looking forward to this weekend. So Washington State wins in kind of compelling fashion against nearby rival Idaho, avoiding disaster. They win 13-10. Week 1, game 1 of the Jimmy Rogers era. What was the primary takeaway as the new season gets underway? And thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I would say the primary takeaway from week 1 for Washington State was survival.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look back on that game in a month or two and shrug your shoulders if it was an ugly win, and hopefully you build on that. And the old adage, the biggest improvements you make are from week 1 to week 2 in a season. But that would have been really bad news for WSU in their season had they lost out of the gate to Idaho. Now, Idaho deserves a ton of respect. They took Oregon down to the wire last year in their opener in Eugene. It was a Idaho team 3 years ago that came into Pullman for the opener, and WSU just hung on for a victory in that game. And then Washington State the next week went to Madison and beat Wisconsin on the road. So, you know, credit to Idaho, and week 1 could be a bit bumpy. But, I mean, I would say big picture outside of just survival for Washington State, it is a brand new head coach in Jimmy Rogers. There are over 70 new players on the roster. A chunk of those are guys that he brought with him from South Dakota State. He got the WSU job after having a lot of success at South Dakota State, which is one of the FCS powerhouse programs, led them to winning the national championship at the FCS level in 2023. But the thing that probably stood out the most where Washington State will look to improve is on the ground. It was not pretty last week, and Jimmy Rogers has preached, hey, we want to play physical football. We want to have success in the trenches. And WSU mostly has been either air raid under Mike Leach or some more, you know, a little more modern variation of the air raid in the years since Mike Leach has no longer been the WSU coach. That's different. And Washington State ran the ball 22 times for 3 net yards last week. So that is the big talking point around Pullman with the program is how will that, you know, take a big leap forward? Because last week the team was able to come away with the victory despite really having a tough time running the ball.
So the line on this game is moved. It's a -1.5 Washington State. Last year, we all know what happened here in San Diego. The Aztecs have completely turned over their entire roster. New quarterback, offensive line upgrades, a lot of returning players on defense for them. How do you see them matching up against Washington State this weekend and vice versa?
That's an excellent question. I mean, tip of the hat to San Diego State and what they were able to do week 1. You know, some similarities, taking on an FCS program that has been a stronger FCS program, and Stony Brook has had some recent success. So, and that was all San Diego State. I mean, you don't look at that tape last week and what San Diego State did against Stony Brook and be particularly excited to face that same defense that you know limited and really just not only shut out but shut down Stony Brook. And then offensively, you know, the big theme talking to the WSU coaches going into last week was, okay, feeling out, because for WSU, there was a feeling out process of having all these guys together and playing as one for the first time. And for Idaho, they had a coaching change. So there was some sense of unknown. It was a first-time offensive coordinator. It was a defensive coordinator who hasn't been a defensive coordinator in 4 years. Well, you know, you have that 1 week of tape to watch for San Diego State, but there's a lot of weapons, obviously, you know, at the quarterback position, and then how well the running backs did in that game. So that's going to be a fascinating matchup. I just think overall, can WSU have more offensive success against San Diego State defense that was so good last week? And on the flip side, WSU's defense deserves credit against Idaho. They gave up 10 points, but 3 of those points came when WSU lost a fumble at the 11-yard line, which gave Idaho great field position, and the defense held Idaho to just a field goal, which was crucial at that point late in the game.
Chris King with us right now, voice of the Washington State Cougars. Again, the Aztecs and Cougars coming up Saturday at 7:15, a game you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. So more big picture, what is it like in Pullman now? I mean, on the other side of what transpired with the old Pac-12, as we look towards the new Pac-12, what's the overall thought from the fan base about where Washington State, its athletic programs are heading moving forward with programs like San Diego State, Boise State, and others coming into the league?
Great question. I will say, and I'll get back to answering that specifically. I'm sure you've heard the Pac-12 after dark phrase. So,
Yeah.
I mean, now that WSU and San Diego State will be playing a lot moving forward, this can kind of be maybe a little preview of Pac-12 after dark. And here locally in Pullman and on the Palouse, which is the name of the region where, kind of Pullman and into Moscow, Idaho, and the whole Palouse region, we call it Palouse after dark. So I have a little Palouse after dark on our hands coming up Saturday night between Washington State and San Diego State. It's hard to speak for everyone, but I think, and I went to WSU, so I feel this deeply, not just in my job, but also just as someone who went to WSU, whose wife went to WSU, whose, kids go to school wearing crimson and gray. It obviously is difficult in the sense of moving forward and what happened. There's still processing of what happened because it's just different of like, it was out of WSU's control what happened. And yet here you are in this position of making the most moving forward. And I think that, whether or not once UCLA and USC left, San Diego State was probably going to be part of that picture moving forward involving WSU. Now things happen even more where, maybe even some teams that would have been part of that are not part of that. But, it's definitely a transition process for the fan base to kind of wrap their mind around it. I think the biggest selling point is the fact that with the new Pac-12, there will be, is the way things are set up now, a path to the college football playoff. And even you look at some of the teams who left the old Pac-12 after USC and UCLA left, they don't have that clear of a path. I mean, hats off to them if they can make the college football playoff running through the Big Ten. It may be harder if you're outside of Oregon, and maybe UW can do it, but that's difficult. And then, of course, the teams in the ACC, that's difficult. And, Big 12 credit to Arizona State, but that's not the easiest path. But I think what WSU and San Diego State and Oregon State and Boise State will all be jockeying for will be who will kind of reign at the top of the new Pac-12 on the football front. There's going to be an opportunity for someone to seize that and to have a path to the college football playoff. I truly don't believe, whether it's the Mountain West, whether it's the AAC, I think the best program that will have the chance at that spot in the college football playoff will be coming from the Pac-12. And then on the hoops side, the hoops are going to be great. And that's a great credit to San Diego State. Gonzaga is obviously, kind of in our backyard for WSU. That's about an hour and 20-minute drive away from campus to campus. The hoops is going to be great in the new Pac-12. So I think WSU, too, in the old Pac-12, you were the school with some of the least amount of resources, if not the least amount of resources. And it's going to kind of take a point of view shift to be one of the teams that, hopefully are in the upper half or very, very top of having the most resources and expecting that success year in and year out. And, while WSU, it was never consistent necessarily, there's been some great accomplishments in WSU football history, most recently in the Mike Leach era and what happened in that Gardner Minshew year, but even in those other years, kind of with Luke Falk at quarterback. And then you go back to the Rose Bowls in the late 90s and the early 2000s under Mike Price, Drew Bledsoe being the number 1 overall pick. There's been some great football in WSU history, and this is just a unique new chapter that's being written.
A final one for me, Chris. From afar, what do you make of Sean Lewis? I know it was not a good first year last year, 3 wins, but had to turn over an entire program and start from the ground up. But Sean Lewis's style, up tempo, fast paced offense. What do you make of Sean Lewis from afar up in Washington?
Well, I don't think defensive coordinator Jesse Bobbitt for Washington State, I don't think he would consider this a fun matchup, considering what Sean Lewis has done in his career. Excelling as an innovator when it comes to an offensive mind and having explosive offenses. I know last year, especially the end of the year, did not end how San Diego State would have wanted to, but for both WSU, year one with the new head coach, so many new guys over 70 plus. I mean, you're trying to stack those wins. And if you become bowl eligible, that's a big deal. And I would think from the San Diego State perspective, if you become bowl eligible, that's a big step forward in year two under Sean Lewis. And for both teams, when you're trying to add up those wins to get to that bowl eligible number, I mean, this is one that you look at, and you talked about too, how the outside perspective is this should be a close game on Saturday. This is a big one if you could get this victory and have it in your back pocket. So a ton of respect for Sean Lewis. I know as well, Rob Orich, the defensive coordinator for San Diego State, he spent a couple of years at Idaho, and that wasn't that long ago. So he'll be back up in the Palouse, and it did a great job last week as his first week as the defensive coordinator for San Diego State. So I think there's plenty of intriguing storylines for this game, not only for this year, but obviously this being a game that's going to be played a lot moving forward, whether it's on the gridiron or on the hardwood or across all sports with the new Pac-12.
Chris, appreciate you taking time for us. We're looking forward to getting up there. San Diego State and Washington State up in Pullman, Washington, Saturday night at 7:15. Be well. We'll see you this weekend, and thanks for hopping on in San Diego.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right, great stuff from Chris King, voice of
I'm excited for this
Cougars.
weekend. Like I'm genuinely excited for Saturday night.
It should be a very good game. I'm looking forward to it as well. All right, updates from Petco on the other side and what this really means in the grand scheme of things for the Padres. Are we overreacting or not to a home sweep at the hands of the Baltimore Orioles? That next. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Can't wait to hear from Mike Shildt postgame. It's 7-0 Orioles in the 6th.
Like, there's no way Mike Shildt is gonna try to spin this, right?
I think he's honestly over the last couple of days had more and more truthfulness within some of his postgame comments. Yeah. I don't think today is the spin day, but I do think he'll try to rally the troops again and be like, I've never been more confident in a group overall. I think he'll tell you that the group is connected. They're just not playing well.
Right.
And that they're going to turn the page and they'll enjoy their day off and they'll hope to play better baseball beginning Friday. I wouldn't expect him to pull like Bob Melvin every once in a while would like not flip a table, but his reaction would be flip a table. Like he would call out his players. That is not who Mike Shildt has been. I don't think that changes here today.
Now, what's the % chance that you give him blowing up at a simple, basic question asked by someone in the media?
I don't think today, because there's not going to be a lot of in-game decisions questioned by Mike Shildt. I don't think there's any question about, hey, why did you pinch hit for Freddie Fermin?
That's right.
Or why did you stick with Cortez after the second home run in the third? I think it's more like, hey, Mike, you are getting no starting pitching length. What is that? What impact does that have? It's going to be that general, hey, your offense can't overcome deficits because they're so large. I just think it's going to be general talking points.
Yeah, no, you're right. He does become very thin-skinned when it comes to in-game decisions that he's questioned on. He also doesn't like when you question or call out one of his star players. Remember when Dennis asked a couple weeks ago, hey, Manny's got 1 RBI in August.
Right.
Like, what do you say about that? And he kind of like, are you serious? Huh? What?
Good point.
Now, he didn't flip out. It's not a classic Mike Shildt flip out. But if someone questions one of his star players struggling, he does get kind of defensive a little bit.
I mean, it's amazing there's as many people in the building as there are today. This hot, sunny day where the Padres fall behind 7-0 immediately. Padres fans, I mean, they're going to announce 40,000+ for 3 straight games. They're all going to be losses. And people are still waiting for the Padres offense to come to life, trailing 7-0 in the 6th inning. I mean, you bring up a really good point about what's going to happen this weekend. They're going to Colorado and you say, look at the Rockies. Look how bad they've been. Almost historically bad for the Rockies as the Padres are on the board. Manny Machado, a big moment, Jim.
There's nothing like a Manny Machado 2-run homer down 7-0.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think it necessarily gets easier just because the opponent isn't quote unquote good. I get it. Colorado's had a bad year, but they've played better recently. And Coors Field can be very odd. So, I mean, who knows? It's the 6th inning. It's 7-2. Crazier things have happened. We haven't really seen it from the 2025 Padres. We saw it from the 2024 Padres. You know,
I'm sorry.
Who knows?
I'm sorry. That makes me upset.
You're mad at the home run.
Like, look, maybe this gets him going. Finally. Maybe he shows up. Finally. For the stretch run.
Okay.
But I'm like, dude, you know, where were you, man? Where were you in way bigger moments than down 7-0? That home run means nothing to me. Now, if it turns unless they win, or unless it turns into Manny Machado has now gone nuclear red hot.
Sure.
But if he doesn't, and that was just some cheapy 2-run homer down 7-0, that would upset me.
I mean, it's hard to get upset because he homered. I get the point. It's not some big time spot, right? And it's not like the season's on the line. Or again, he's lacked that clutch gene throughout most of this 2025 regular season. I mean, he's been mired in such a deep slump that you're hoping for anything for Manny. Maybe it'll get him going. I mean, we haven't seen a swing like that from Manny for forever. He hadn't homered in a long time.
Right.
So maybe it gets him going. And maybe the Padres put something together late in this game. Remember this about Baltimore. Hasn't played out this series, but their bullpen hasn't been good. I mean, it's been one of the worst bullpens in the sport. So, I mean, you're looking for anything out of the Padres. If they somehow turn this game around, maybe that's what they need. If they don't turn this game around, Mike Shildt's going to say, well, I like how we battled to get back in the game.
Yeah, if they end up winning this game, easily the best win of the season in an important time of your year when things were fading fast.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree. If they end up losing this game and they lose, say, 7-4, and they bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning, Mike Shildt is going to praise the hell out of them for their fight. You know it.
Oh, 100%. He definitely will. we've said a lot here over the last couple of weeks as well. Like, this is a win-loss time of year. It's not April 8th. It's like, okay, you won a game. You lost a game. Like, all that matters is results. The funny thing is, we haven't even touched on this. The Dodgers continue to at least leave a door somewhat ajar.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they lose the Pirates yesterday. They're about to play the Orioles, by the way, at Camden Yards this weekend. The Orioles are playing well.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, like, get your own house in order, and the Padres are playing terrible baseball. And then on the other side of the coin, you're like, well, the Dodgers aren't playing good baseball either. So
No.
I don't even know where to go right now with the Padres, to be honest.
They're leaving a crack in the door, but still it's not like a big crack. Pause.
Okay. Right.
I am a child.
You really are.
Because they still got to overcome 3 in the loss column with 23 to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult, man.
It is.
That's difficult. Not out of the other realm of possibility. It could still happen. Now the 4 seed feels even further out of reach. They're now 4 back of the Cubs for the 4 seed.
Right.
I have no idea how the tiebreaker works with them.
Neither do I.
But still, I mean, that's a lot of games with 23 to play.
It is. But again, who even knows? I have no way to predict what's going to happen either in the remainder of this game with the Padres trailing 7-0, but then they get the home run from Machado, and now they put a couple on. And I don't know what to expect this weekend in Colorado, let alone down the stretch. So we'll see, is what I would say. We'll have updates for you throughout the course of the afternoon. We'll hear from Mike Shildt later in the show, and then Kevin Acee. I mean, Kevin Acee is going to join us. I want to know the deal with Michael King from Kevin's perspective, because Michael King was supposed to pitch in this series against the Orioles. Then Mike Shildt said he's going to throw side sessions. He's not going to pitch this weekend in Colorado. They're hopeful to get him back for Cincinnati. All of a sudden, you're a week closer to the end of the regular season. Starting to run out of some time. So we'll see when and if, truthfully, they get Michael King back, who's thrown just 2 innings since May 18th for the Padres.
And he's now pushed back to at least the Red Series, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. On the other side, we're going to switch gears. Really interesting reporting today from Pablo Torre, a bizarre story involving the LA Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. You'll hear from Pablo Torre on the other side. NFL Red Zone is going to have a new look in 2025, unfortunately. And again, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. A lot to get to. We're here until 6 p.m. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim comes your way next. Stay with us.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. Here come the Padres. They now trail the Orioles 7-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bases loaded and no outs. So we'll keep you updated on that game going on at Petco Park. Staples has school supplies as low as 25 cents. Your back to school budget saved by the easy button. The easy button. What did you think I was going to say? Love me some Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim, and the Padres comeback is well underway. They have added a run, and there's still nobody out in the 6th inning. They're bringing the tying run to the plate in a game they trailed 7-0 to start the inning. So, how the tables have turned. 7-3 with the bases loaded in the 6th following an infield hit. And the Padres, again, will have some cracks here with the tying run at the plate in a 4-run game. So this thing is far from over. Truthfully. I mean, this is far from over at this point.
Yeah, they got 12 outs to play with, and they're now down by 4. No outs here and the bases loaded. Yeah, this thing is far from over.
They had a game like this earlier in the year. There's only one example that comes to mind, and this was all done in the 1st inning. They went down to the Marlins, I want to say, at home. You were away. It was 6 or 7-0 immediately in the first inning.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then they came back and scored 6 or 7 the very next half inning to get right back in it. So that's the example that comes to mind. They've scored another run to make it 7-4.
But Iglesias hitting a double play.
So, but I mean, they were right back in this game. Baltimore's pitching has been all. I mean, their relief pitching's been awful. Now it's been good enough, obviously, this series, but you've already brought the tying run to the plate. You'll have more innings to work with. 7-4. I mean, this is probably the type of game they've been looking for the last couple of weeks if they somehow pull it out. I mean, if they pull this out, it would be an incredible accomplishment from 7-0 down, truthfully, but they still have to pull it out. And you're going to feel way different heading into an off day if they somehow come back from 7-0 down as opposed to getting swept at home by the Orioles. Like, that's a complete 180.
Season is officially back on.
100%. I mean, season saving moment is what people would tell you.
But it still wouldn't take away from the problems this team has.
No, it wouldn't, but it masks something. If you do it
for a day
or two,
and when you get to this point of the season, you got to win any way possible.
100%, man.
Like, it's not about style points here. If you won 7 in a row, all 1-0, that you'll take that. You're not going to complain at all.
And now the interesting thing that Mike Shildt will do, and I completely agree with this, is now you go chase the game.
Yeah.
So you used who have they used? They used Kyle Hart last inning. They used Sean Reynolds for 1 million innings. And now it's like, well, it's 7-0. You're content to use like Bryce Johnson, but now you're back in it. And now it's like, you know what? Get Jeremiah Estrada up. Yep. We're off tomorrow. Yeah, we're down 3. You still don't have the best chance in the world of winning, but what's the worst thing that happens? You try.
Yeah, you got Morone, Estrada, Miller, and Suarez that you have to use now to keep this at 7 runs.
Yeah, exactly. A 3-run deficit, if not closer.
Like, if I see Wandy Peralta on the mound the next inning here.
Well, you're not, because Estrada's up.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they showed Estrada.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're going to Estrada, you're going Morone, you're going Miller, and you're going Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, at least 3 of them, right?
At least 3
over the next.
Depending on if they get a lead or not.
True, exactly. So interesting developments. We'll keep you updated. All right, Jim. I knew you were awake because you were texting me about this Kawhi Leonard Clippers story very early on.
Dude, okay? It's crazy.
So we'll hear from Pablo Torre, but how do you want to set up this thing that's transpiring with the Clippers? I think that the NBA announced today there's going to be an investigation. Mm-hmm. It was previously investigated. They didn't find anything, but now there's additional reporting, so it's going to be reinvestigated. So what does it stem from? No pun intended.
Well, I'll just have Pablo Torre explain it to you.
He explains the whole thing, yeah.
Because Pablo Torre, who does a fantastic job as a journalist now and finding out about these kind of weird stories in sports, but he goes like deep into it, and he makes sure before he releases the findings of what he is researching to have multiple sources on the matter, multiple factual pieces of evidence. But here's what he's released this morning about Kawhi Leonard and him signing with the Los Angeles Clippers.
What we know is that NBA executives were suspicious of how Steve Ballmer's Clippers landed the most valuable free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. That the NBA did not find that Ballmer got Kawhi by sweetening their offer. Mm-hmm. But also that in March 2025, this celebrity-endorsed multi-billion-dollar, allegedly fraudulent tree brokerage named Aspiration, which promises to clear your conscience and your emissions, they file for bankruptcy. And this is where the clue is. What David's looking at with his glasses on is a bankruptcy filing, and there's a list of creditors. The entities to which Aspiration and all of their alleged fraudulence still owes the most money. And what I noticed is what David is noticing right now, which is that on that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC, a tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
So then the question is, the Aspire part of KL2 Aspire LLC, right? Because, okay, he's getting all this money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find, which also might seem weird, right? Because every other celebrity Aspiration gave money to was well known. There was Drake offering a statement to Rolling Stone. There was Doc Rivers, Kawhi's own head coach. Robert Downey Jr. was cutting his commercial. That was the whole point of paying the A-list Avengers. But the grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing Aspiration, 0 times.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard mentioned Aspiration. And so what I started doing was reaching out to dozens of former Aspiration employees. A grand total of 7 of them ultimately agreed to interviews, which is also how I have exclusively obtained the signed and executed document.
In consideration of the rights and benefits granted to company hereunder, the company will pay KL2, which is Kawhi, $28 million in cash during the term of this agreement. Company will pay KL2 $7 million each year of the term.
That is Kawhi Leonard's autograph. I convinced one very important person who worked in the finance department of Aspiration to go on tape.
And I didn't so much as discover it as I was told about it.
What was your reaction? What were you told?
My reaction was, what the fuck? And I was told, like, oh, these are the major contracts and the major players you really need to be aware of. And we went through a litany of, really, really top tier name contracts. And then, oh, by the way, we also have a marketing deal with Kawhi Leonard, a $28 million organic marketing sponsorship deal with Kawhi. And that if I had any questions about it, essentially don't, because it was to circumvent the salary cap, LOL. There was lots of LOL when things were shared.
Did you ever see proof of Kawhi Leonard marketing or endorsing Aspiration in any way?
Never, not once. The single largest payment to an individual for marketing that Aspiration ever made has completely evaded all press. It's honestly incredible. Nothing. He didn't have to do anything.
In other words, Kawhi Leonard got from Aspiration a $28 million no-show job.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm honestly so jealous. So jealous. I mean, he's got the dream. Like, it's within my beliefs to be paid $28 million and do absolutely all as well.
The Clippers, however, provided a statement on behalf of the organization and owner Steve Ballmer, which reads in part, quote, "Neither Mr. Ballmer nor the Clippers circumvented the salary cap or engaged in any misconduct related to Aspiration. Any contrary assertion is provably false." End quote.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting report. It's an interesting allegation. It's one of those things that, like a lot of things, oftentimes you read a headline, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I saw it on social media. And then you find out actually what happened. You're like, oh, is that really what happened? Like, as in, I want to see what the NBA has to say about it.
I do too.
I want to know actually what happened.
What's stopping me from believing Pablo Torre's reporting? Like, I think this has to be taken seriously. I think Pablo Torre is a fantastic investigator and journalist, and he's, doing some work that a lot of people just won't do today. And I do think that with his findings, it all looks kind of shady, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I heard that whole thing, and I heard it earlier this morning as well. And I really don't know, because I don't know anything about like aspiration. I don't know anything about like when the Clippers put out a statement and say neither Steve Ballmer nor the Clippers circumvented the salary cap or engaged in any misconduct related to aspiration, and any contrary assertion is provably false. My guess is they'll kind of defend that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also the company Aspiration just went bankrupt like 2 weeks ago. The company was funded by Steve Ballmer. It's funny because like just right now, if you go to, because this tweet has been making the rounds.
Yeah.
This was posted in 2023 by the Clippers.
Right.
Happy birthday, Kawhi. For every comment / retweet, Aspiration will plant one tree for Kawhi's birthday.
Okay. Right.
And they have the company, it's like the @Aspirations.
Right.
If you click on that tweet, if you click on that handle now, it takes you to @Aspirations, which the name of this handle is Becca D's Tree. And it has 43 followers.
So what does that mean? Is that what the account was even initially, or has the account changed hands?
The account must have changed hands because the company
probably went under.
The company went under,
so
but
someone else has the handle now.
It's very interesting when you hear those things and how this is. I mean, you can't circumvent the salary cap. Like
right.
You can't.
So what's the penalty of circumventing? Penalties can include fines up to $7.5 million and forfeitures of draft picks.
Here's what happened the last time a team tried to circumvent the salary cap.
Okay.
It was 25 years ago, though.
Really?
It was.
Wow.
Or at least there might be instances after, but this one is what I saw today.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maryland
for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were found to have circumvented the salary of Joe Smith to sign him. Here's what the penalties resulted in. 5 first-round picks forfeited. 2 were returned later. A $3.5 million fine. Smith's most recent contract was voided and his bird rights were stripped away. The Wolves owner was suspended, and Wolves general manager Kevin McHale was forced to take a leave of absence.
That's interesting. If you void the player's contract, that just means the player can go elsewhere. It doesn't suspend the player, right?
Like he's not on the team anymore.
So the penalty would really be more for the organization and not for the player, correct?
Correct.
So that I don't know what's going to come of it. It'll be interesting to see. Like that seems like a pretty significant penalty.
Yeah. Is also stated in this tweet, in recent years, tampering findings have resulted in the loss of second-round picks.
Right. Right.
But this is more than tampering. This is circumventing the thing that the NBA holds dearest to their hearts, which is this new second apron of the salary cap.
Right.
Because without the second apron, you're getting super teams left and right. And now because of the second apron, you can't get that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're signing guys and you're circumventing the second apron to get more superstars on your team, that is completely illegal to do in the terms of the NBA landscape.
Yeah, you know what's interesting to me? That there's all this like, I don't even know if there's outrage today. I think there's a lot of chatter on social media. What's funny about that is this is college athletics of the last 5 years.
Right.
What is being alleged to have occurred with the Clippers is what is occurring in college athletics.
The college athletics doesn't have a players union.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying it's kind of interesting that this is what's playing out in real time in college. By the way, the NBA investigated the Clippers when Leonard initially signed there, because there's been like multiple allegations about their recruitment of Kawhi. And at the time, they were found to not be in any violation. But now this is a separate accusation that the NBA is going to investigate.
And it's being reported on today that when Kawhi did not return to the Toronto Raptors and he kind of left them, I want to say in the dark, like there were reports that the Raptors thought that they had Kawhi. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that Kawhi and his uncle really wanted was, hey, we need you to get to $15 million or whatever the number was for like an endorsement deal for us, you know, that we could be the face of and whatnot, right? And it seemed like the Toronto Raptors, according to these reports, had that in place. And then all of a sudden, it's like, where did Kawhi go? And he's with the Clippers signing like the next day.
Could the Raptors have offered an endorsement deal in connection with signing Kawhi Leonard? Isn't that the same thing?
Well,
Isn't
endorsement
that circumventing the cap?
Well, I don't fully know, but I do like I'm just thinking to myself out loud is like if you get a guy an endorsement deal from a legit company and you go out and you endorse that company, how's that circumventing the salary cap? If the owner isn't funding that company, which a Steve Ballmer was with aspirations.
Okay, yeah, I don't know because that to me would still be like circumventing the cap. That would be like, hey, let's go to New York City. Let's have the Knicks go to some financial company and hey, we're going to pay you $40 million a year and MasterCard's going to pay you another 20 on the side.
But the difference is the owner of the Knicks isn't funding MasterCard like Steve Ballmer
But
was.
is that allowed? I still don't even think that would be allowed. I don't think you can work out a relationship with an endorsement as in an effort to land a player, can you?
Well, do NBA players get endorsement deals or do they not?
They do, but can it be in connection with signing a player?
Well, you can help get someone an endorsement deal and be like, if I help you get this endorsement deal.
Can you? I'm asking a question. I didn't think you
know.
could do that because that would be, to me, like a way to land a player by going around, typical salary.
I just think that when you have Steve Ballmer directly connected to aspirations, funding the company, or at least putting money into the company to give to Kawhi, that's the difference than saying, hey, let's go get you an endorsement deal with Nike.
Right.
The only thing I think it's weird that, they paid him that money to endorse a product and then he never endorsed it.
Right.
So it'd be like if I, Sam, you're drinking a Diet Coke, John, Coke's going to pay you to endorse Diet Coke. And we just write you a check and you do nothing. You don't put out a tweet saying that I love Diet Coke or anything else. You just take the check and then that's it.
It'll be interesting to see where the story goes from here. All right, we're going to switch gears to the NFL Red Zone, how it's changing for the upcoming season, which of course gets underway this weekend. Updates from Petco Park. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, The Offspring, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance to text and win happens at 5 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. All the info at sportssd.com/festival. And the Padres comeback continues with Fernando Tatis Jr. now homering.
You know what's funny is the guy on the mound, Aiken, was on the mound on Monday, and they didn't want to use Tatis or Merrill because of the splitsies.
Tatis represented the winning run.
And he hit a home run off of Aiken. So
yeah, it's insane.
Interesting.
Actually, it's very interesting. Well, I mean, crazier things have happened now. 7-5 in the 7th inning. You're a base runner away from bringing tying runs to the plate from here on out.
They have given themselves a chance, and they're, now in the A team part of their bullpen.
Yep.
They have to keep it at 7 runs. But look, there's no moral victories here.
Well, no, they got to win the game.
They have to win the game.
Yep.
Like, good job on them fighting back and making it a game here and giving themselves an opportunity. But if they don't complete this comeback and they don't win the game, none of this matters to me.
No, I completely agree. But we're at the point of the game where they might actually come back and win the game. They may. Again, the Orioles bullpen has really struggled. You've had Machado and Tatis homer in the same game, by the way, which is the first time that's happened, I think, since Andy Halpern had July 24th. Obviously, that's barely happened all year because Tatis hasn't homered much since the middle or the end of May.
He matched his total from August.
With one?
With 1 home run.
He matched his total from August with 1 home run in this game.
Yeah.
So they just popped it up. I mentioned that Marlins game from earlier in the year. They trailed 6-0 in the first inning of that game. They trailed today 7-0 in the 6th inning. So you have a lot more time in that Marlins game than you had essentially in this comeback if they do pull it off.
They'll have a chance if they keep it at 7 here. They'll have a chance.
I mean, yeah, they definitely will have a chance. They'll definitely have a chance. All of the damage done against Nestor Cortez, back-to-back home runs, a leadoff home run. It was 7-0 in the 6th, and they're going to go to the 8th, 7-5.
We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. So we learned today that the NFL Red Zone will not be commercial free.
Boo!
Right? The NFL Red Zone in 2025, now owned in part by ESPN and Disney. Remember, 10% ownership in Red Zone from ESPN Disney. We learn now that there will be some amount of commercials. Do we know the extent of commercials that will be within the show or how they're going to do it? Is it going to be like a separate box with football still on screen?
You have Pat McAfee, Brent? Okay, here's what Pat McAfee had to say when he had Scott Hansen.
Chris Hansen on.
Not Chris Hansen. I always think of Chris Hansen.
I did the same thing.
When I think of Scott Hansen.
Okay.
Sorry, Scott. Here's what Pat McAfee said.
Maybe go to the bathroom now. If there is like a little no bathroom, you still stand in solidarity.
Married to it.
Yeah, I respect
17.
Yes. But I don't think anybody's upset about the commercials. I mean, it's an easy thing to kind of tweet about and post about, but I don't think anybody's turning it off because of commercials, and the NFL knows that.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can serve it.
I'll tell you this. We've had meetings all off season. We had our rehearsal. We had our dress rehearsal in week 3 of the preseason. And we are not going to sacrifice any great football for any of the business side of things, right? The business folks are going to handle the business and we play the hand that's dealt us, but we will not miss a touchdown. We will not say, oh, okay, this is 1st and goal from the 5, but let's, sell some pizza or pick up trucks. But
do it. Yeah. Unless it's
you pick and choose your spots like anything.
Well,
so that didn't really explain the question, which is how are they going to use commercials if they're also not going to miss touchdowns?
My guess is it will be a double box, like a double box.
Like the audio of the ad while you're still seeing Red Zone.
Yeah. They'll
pop up the box. You'll hear the 15-second Motorola ad and you'll still see.
They did have, I want to say they had commercials last year as well. Like sometimes.
Did they? It says here 2009 to 2024 commercial free.
But what I meant is like they've had a double box with like a commercial that I don't know. My guess is it will be a double box where the game that they're showing will still be there, but the audio won't. Instead, it'll be the audio from the commercial being played. Well, first off, Pat, you're completely wrong. Everybody hates this. You're just a corporate shill. Number two, the commercials are, I'm not going to say it's going to ruin the red zone, but the whole entire point of the red zone was commercial-free football. And now it feels like it's just turning in, it's going to turn into highlights. Like that's not what the red zone is. And I get it. You got to make some money off this thing because you paid a bunch of money for it. And ESPN, all they care about is the money. They don't care about the consumer. But man, ESPN effing up the red zone. They're gonna F up inside the NBA. They've effed up Major League Baseball. All they have is talking heads that yell and scream, and Cam Newton now. Like, it just, man, ESPN, other than Scott Van Pelt and, you know, live play-by-play with, you know, college football and Monday Night Football and whatnot, ESPN's a joke.
The funny thing is, people won't like run away from it.
Nope.
They know they can do it, to Pat McAfee's point. Like, is anyone not going to watch Red Zone because they're airing a 15-second Motorola ad?
No,
Of
still
course
watch.
not. It's like if the NFL had more ads in games.
We all bend the knee.
Watching,
we all hate it,
but
we
you still go
watch.
back. Exactly. All right. Again, updates from Petco Park on the other side. Plus, you thought previous NBA All-Star games had the dumbest ideas ever. A brand new dumb idea coming for 2026 will be instituted. We have the latest on the other side. We'll hear from Mike Shildt when this game goes final. Kevin Acee joins us at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. Padres and Orioles, final game of their 3-game series. Padres looking to avoid the sweep. They are on the comeback trail. They now trail the Orioles 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mason Miller just had an immaculate inning. 9 strikes, all sliders, struck out the side. Padres looking for a comeback victory. Staples has school supplies as low as 25 cents. Your back-to-school budget saved by the easy button. The easy button. What'd you think I was going to say? Love me some Staples. That was easy.
We've reached the weird period of time in this Padres Orioles game where we've seen everything, an immaculate inning, back-to-back home runs, and a leadoff home run. That's the first time in baseball history, I've decided. All that has happened in one game. Padres have the tying run at the plate in the 8th inning. They trailed 7-0 in the 6th. They have the tying run at the plate in the 8th.
This is going to be either the best win of the year in a moment where they needed something like this to happen to them.
Yep.
Or it will turn out to be, I don't know if I want to call it the worst loss of the season, but it would end the series getting swept by the Orioles.
Right. So the highs of a comeback from 7-0 down, or the lows of getting swept at home by Baltimore.
Right. It's like best comeback of the year in a moment you needed it, or you just got swept.
That's a lot riding on one game.
Yeah.
Some random Wednesday afternoon. I mean, this would be reminiscent, I think, of that Cubs game last April when they came out of nowhere. I think they were 8-0 down in that game. That was the, hey, we can come back against anyone.
But they had those moments sprinkled out through the entirety of last year.
True, but it kind of started there. It was 2 weeks into the year.
I know, but this year, this team has not done.
Not a lot of it. Not a lot of it.
No.
I mean, 7 runs would be their largest deficit since that Cubs game last year.
Yeah. So look, that last year's team, they were down by 6 or 7 with their offense.
I still didn't think they were winning.
No, but they won more of those games than any other team in baseball.
This year, they have more comebacks of 4 runs or more than any team in baseball, believe it or not.
That's kind of crazy.
How insane is that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if they do this, I think it kind of glosses over all the bad things that we're watching. If they come back for a moment, it's going to gloss that over for 48 hours until they play Friday.
Yeah, for a moment.
It will. But if they lose this game, it's glossing nothing over their 5-run comeback in a 7-5 loss.
The comeback won't matter at all. The immaculate inning, which Mason Miller just threw, which was
cool.
Kind of crazy. 9 straight sliders, all strikes, struck out the side. First time since 2002
that a Padre has done it.
That a Padre has done it. Yeah. Let me just look this up here. Who was it?
Brian Lawrence, 2002.
Brian Lawrence, 2002, against the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That is a long time.
23
It's hard to throw an immaculate inning in this sport.
It's one of those things that you think you can do. You think that's going to occur more than it does. It's like when someone says eat 6 wheat thins without drinking water. That's not the thing. What are the saltines? Eat 6 saltines without drinking water. You can't do it. Sounds like you can do it, right? But your mouth is going to be completely chalk.
Yeah, I do like saltine crackers.
Maybe you can, but you get the point. 9 consecutive strikes. That's happened. That's gonna. You just stumble into that. Yeah. Jeremiah Estrada, 13 consecutive strikeouts.
Wait, what?
You'll stumble into it, right? Well, no, you'll stumble into it every
Maybe Mason
generation.
Miller might have 14 consecutive strikeouts when we get a new video package.
Has Miller ever had an immaculate inning?
My guess would be no.
No, but it's that hard. He strikes out 17 per every 9 innings.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep you updated. Listen to this from Shams. All right, this is 8 minutes ago.
Okay.
The 2026 All-Star Game format is likely to feature a round-robin tournament consisting of 3 8-player squads of 2 USA teams and 1 world team. Sources tell ESPN. All right, he follows that up by saying the 2 U.S. teams and 1 world squad would play each other in 12-minute quarters, Ryder Cup-style games, sources said. Governors, team executives, and players discussed the format positively with the competition committee meeting on Wednesday. Stop.
Too long, didn't read.
It makes no sense. 2 U.S. teams and 1 world team in a round-robin Ryder Cup style. What? Stop. What was wrong with the Western Conference against the Eastern Conference? Was it that bad?
Well, the problem was the players decided to not care.
But do they care about 2 U.S. versus 1 world?
They tried something like this last year, and it was even worse than just a normal East versus West format.
Didn't they have rookies involved last year as well?
Yeah.
A rookie team.
And Draymond Green, rightfully so, voiced his opinion on it and how stupid it was. How on All-Star Sunday you had a bunch of random rookies playing in the All-Star game.
Have they just done the simple Team US versus Team World? I get it. There's maybe more US All-Stars than World. Is that the issue?
Probably.
There's more American-born All-Stars than All-Stars born outside the US over the last like 10 years.
Yeah,
it sounds like that.
You would have some like random role players that could make it, but they wouldn't be deserving of an All-Star bid.
Yeah.
And you might take away from like an American-born player that should be on the All-Star team, but because they need even amounts, they wouldn't make it.
What would, if you were in charge? Because the All-Star game's been a staple. I mean, people still tune in. It's not the NBA, or excuse me, it's not the NFL where you can't tackle. I get it. But yeah, and you're right. It's 200 to 199. I don't think anyone wants to see that. So, like, is there anything you can do to save this thing, or is it going by the way of the dodo bird, like the NFL Pro Bowl eventually? How can you make them care?
The money thing is one thing.
They make so much money.
But yeah, if you said, oh, $1 million is on the line, how can they get $1 million for each player, you know?
And even if they could, I mean, a lot of these players make $50 million.
Right.
Like, you think they're really playing for an additional $1 million? Like, I don't know if that's going to get someone to play better defense in the first quarter because they're playing for another $500,000.
I liked
$1 million.
I liked when they did draft style, where they had like the captains and they drafted their teams.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Did that get them playing harder because they were like playing for their captains or anything?
No, I like that. Because you know, you had like LeBron playing with like Giannis and stuff like, but I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Other than flat out trying to shame them.
Well, they are shaming them all the time. And the reason why they're shaming them is they're trying to do stuff like this.
No, I mean, like, really shame them, like call them out in the press about how
they
have a lack of effort.
They are. Like every big time NBA analyst.
No, I don't mean analysts. I mean Silver.
Even Silver's
the actual NBA.
Adam Silver has called out the players for the effort level that they put in the All-Star game. Maybe not to the level of like, what the F are you guys doing? But there has definitely been moments where Adam Silver and the league have called out the players for not performing.
Where is the 2026 All-Star game? I want to say the Clippers are hosting it.
Maybe.
2026 is at Intuit Dome.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, when I read something that doesn't make sense, I don't think it's going to be well received. That's basically
I had no idea
my
what you were
barrier.
saying there.
Yeah, when you have a feature of round robin, three
Ryder Cup
8
style
player squads with 2 US teams and 1 world team, and then he quote tweets his own tweet and says Ryder Cup style, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, just make it make sense is basically my bar for anything that's playoff or all-star game related. Like, don't make the rules so confusing. They're like, wait, how do they do the postseason in the NBA, or how do they do the all-star game?
Yeah, like everybody watches the Ryder Cup to where it's like, oh, Ryder Cup rules, of course.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, you don't necessarily have fans that overlap. Like, I think there's a lot of NBA fans that might not be watching the Ryder Cup, or vice versa. So, like, I don't know what Ryder Cup style means.
You know what the Ryder Cup? Yeah, what sport it is, Brent?
It's golf. I know that much, but I don't know like what the rules are, other than it's like the US versus like the world, and it's
Or
team
Europe,
based.
right?
But yeah.
Ugh.
What is Ryder Cup style? What is the style?
Well,
US versus Europe, right?
Yeah, US versus Europe, but there's like a hole, like you win a hole, you go up 1, you lose, obviously you tie a hole. It's basically straight up style.
Ryder Cup style games. So maybe you win a game and you're up. Yeah, I don't know. That's very confusing to me.
They score a basket, they're up a point.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
So, okay, coming in 2026.
Okay.
Coming in 2026. We're keeping a watchful eye on the Padres and the Orioles at Petco Park in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still 7-5 through 8, and Mike Shildt
got ejected.
Did he get tossed? I don't know if he got tossed or not. He came out to argue a strikeout of Gavin Sheets on a foul tip. He thought the catcher did not hold on. The inning is over, though. So they head to the 9th. The Orioles are holding on to a 7-5 lead at Petco Park. It was 7-0. So a 7-5 game heading to the 9th inning. We'll see if the Padres have a walk-off win in them to avoid a home sweep at the hands of the Orioles. We'll have the wrap coming up. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. We're hearing from Mike Shildt postgame as well, of course. We've got tickets to give away today. We've got a pair of tickets to see Lil Wayne, September 10th at the North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater. That's a week from tonight. So don't go anywhere. Reaction from Petco Park on the other side. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. This bizarre afternoon at Petco continues where the Orioles are leading the Padres 7-5 in the top of the ninth inning. But we just saw an absurd catch at the wall from Ramon Laureano, who may have banged, kind of gotten shaken up on the play. A ridiculous catch, robbing Colton Cowser of a solo home run. I mean, utter insanity over the wall and then hitting the wall with his back to make the play. Incredible catch.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's a 6-foot wall, and he went 5 feet over it, right?
That's one of the catches of the year.
He's had a couple of those crazy plays. Obviously, Tatis has had a million. Now listen, that could be a difference in this thing.
Yeah,
Padres have
huge
put
difference.
pressure on. Difference between 7-5, 8-5 could be the difference. We'll see. Again, the Padres need to score multiple runs in the bottom of the ninth inning. That was a phenomenal play.
You know what's funny is, so where that ball was hit was in the left field corner at their new like suite area.
Yeah, Western Metal Supply, bottom of the building.
Right.
Yeah.
And me and Aaron got to sit in those seats or in that suite earlier this year.
Right.
Not one single baseball was hit
in that direction.
The entire game.
Yeah,
not even a
interesting.
foul ball like close to us.
You didn't have Laureano go over the wall and make a play.
Nothing hit down the line. Like nothing. Not even a deep fly out to the warning track. Nothing. And then that happens.
I mean, that is a ridiculous catch. And we've seen some ridiculous outfield catches from the Padres this year. That's right there. That is right
That's
there.
the best one.
Kowser tipping his batting helmet to Laureano in left field. Is that better than some of the Tatis over the wall plays?
I think
don't
so.
know. I thought Tatis made some damn good plays. You're right, too.
Gosh, that was incredible.
That was ridiculous.
I just think from the sheer reaction of it, that to me feels like the best catch of the year.
And it's the most recent.
And it's also an impactful catch. Now, not to say that Tatis wasn't
like
either.
Didn't Tatis save a game? He had 3 of them in a month.
I know he did.
And one of them was ridiculous. One of them was utter insanity, comparable to the play we just
Dude,
saw.
this game has been
insane.
ridiculous.
This game is insane. For a Wednesday afternoon Padres Orioles game, this game has had like a little bit of everything. Like truly, this game has had a little bit of everything. Leadoff home run, back-to-back-to-back home runs, immaculate inning, Machado homer, Tatis homer, Laureano catch of his career. All of that in 8.5 innings.
And now they have to go in the game or none of it matters.
I know, it's insane. And
right?
if they do win this game, like if they win this game because they score 3 in the ninth or they get 2 to tie it, you look back at all these little moments that add up to somehow win a game like
Miller,
this.
Laureano, Manny, Tatis,
Sean Reynolds, Kyle Hart.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they have unloaded the entire bullpen in an effort to stop the tailspin. Losers of 4 of 5, trying to avoid a home sweep at the hands of the Orioles. I mean, credit to Mike Shildt. We joked about this maybe with Kevin Acee. Like he treats these games like they're all game 7s of a World Series. He's treated this game not really with Reynolds and Hart, but he's chasing this thing down. Down 7-4 is like Jeremiah Estrada, Robert Suarez. Come on down. Keep this thing at 7.
I can tell you, and I can promise you this: if they don't win this game, the first thing that Mike Shildt will say is he loves their fight.
Oh my God.
Guarantee it.
Honestly, I would say it.
They have fought back today. There's no doubt about it.
They really have.
But there's also like, yeah, we fought back, but none of it would matter.
Completely. End result, 0 sum.
Especially at this point of your season.
Look at it. The Orioles, again, this is the thing. You're not facing a team that's in playoff contention. They bring on their 9th inning guys, got a 5.18 ERA.
Like you gotta score some runs here.
You know what I
dude.
mean? You're not facing, a guy with a 1.
I don't even think they have a guy with a 1.
I don't think they do. I think they maybe have used him. So this has kind of turned into some. I mean, you made a great point earlier where it's like this is a complete definition of the highs and the lows. The highs are wow, you came back from 7-0 down.
Yep.
In the 6th inning. The lows are you got swept at home by the Orioles.
Yeah,
and there's no in between.
There's no middle ground here. There's no like, oh, we actually got some things going. Some guys got going, and hopefully that will help us in the long run. No, it is as black and white as you can get. You win, best win of the year, and maybe you switch the momentum up. You lose, you just got swept by the Orioles, and it feels like DEFCON 1.
Would you take anything away from it? I know your answer, but I'll ask it anyway. If they lose this game 7-5, or let's say 7-6, or an extra innings 8-7, you take anything away from it from a positive perspective?
For me, it's really hard. But if I was forced to take away a positive, I would go Manny and Tatis homering.
Yep. I agree with that.
That's probably the only thing, because I know Mason Miller's a stud.
He is. We don't need to learn that Mason Miller's good. We know he's good.
Ramon Laureano, we know how great he is defensively. I mean, that was one of the catches of the season around baseball.
Dude, serious question. If they don't make that trade, if Laureano hasn't been here the last 32 games, I mean, they're not in this position,
Gavin
right?
Sheets doesn't make that catch.
But just in general, I mean, are they even in this position? Like, how many fewer wins they had? Like, he has won them a couple of games over the last month, right? Like, his individual war.
He has been incredible. Probably the pickup of the deadline. Now, you're gonna have to go around baseball and look at all the pickups, but he's been the most impactful in my opinion. Just watching every day.
He's been absolutely terrific. I mean, he's been so impactful for the Padres, and I mean, we'll see what happens here. Again, bottom of the ninth inning, Orioles trying to complete a road sweep. It's like you think you have it all figured out. They're like, hey, 16-game stretch against the Twins and the Orioles and the Rockies. Like, this is the time to take off.
Yep. And this is the moment. These are the moments that are now right in front of you.
Yep.
That you have to flip the script here. You know, if you want to be a special team, you got to have special moments in your season. And this is a moment. This is it. It's right in front of you. You can take advantage of it or not.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And also, over the course of 162, you need to find ways to win games like this. Good teams. Now, again, I get it. It's 7-0. It's hard. But like when you get yourself back into a game, you got to win a game or two like that. As there's now 2 outs and the base is empty in the ninth inning. But don't you agree? Like you worked you got yourself back into it. Finish the game off. And they're facing some dude with a 5.2 ERA that goes strikeout to start his outing.
How does this guy have a 5? This stuff is nasty.
Did you see the graphic they just showed up?
Yeah.
Like ahead in the count, everyone hits 100. Behind in the count, they hit like 600.
Dude's throwing frisbees up there.
I know.
They're not frisbees, but like what's it called? Wiffle balls. The wiffle ball is just.
Yes. So they need yeah, I mean, this has been everything that you could possibly want. By the way, when this game ends, we're going to hear from Mike Shildt.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll hear from Mike Shildt.
Did he get ejected?
That's a good point. He came out to argue in the 8th inning on a foul tip strikeout. So I don't think he got ejected, though, because I didn't see that on social media. Did you?
I haven't looked at social media.
I don't think he got ejected. And then I'm curious to hear from Kevin Acee, truthfully. Because Kevin's going to join us coming up at 5:30. Mm-hmm. Kevin's going to go to Denver.
If they don't pull this off, I guarantee you there will be some type of spin job. Guarantee it.
I 100% agree.
Guarantee it. Not the way that they fought back, there will be a spin job post game.
No, I completely agree.
If they don't pull this off. If they pull this off, oh man, Mike Shildt, say whatever you want.
They pull it off now. It's even more impressive with 2 outs in the 9th, trailing by a couple of runs.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? We'll take the time out because on the other side, potentially we'll have our post-game reaction. We'll see if the Padres can tie it up or win it or if they fall to the Orioles, but we'll have post-game reaction following this one today between the Orioles and the Padres. The Orioles have come to Petco and swept the Padres as Luis Arraez grounds out. The Orioles survived the comeback, sweep the Padres, and in a 0-sum game, the Padres completely reeling, losers, Jim, of 8 of their last 10 games. How did the Orioles win that game, truthfully?
I have no idea.
Padres with opportunities late, they don't cash in, and they lose 7-5. We'll have full reaction on the other side. We'll hear from Mike Shildt. The Orioles, wow, come to Petco and sweep the Padres, who have lost 5 of 6 and 8 of 10. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, we'll hear from Mike Shildt. Kevin Acee joins us at 5:30. We'll give away Lil Wayne tickets coming up in the 4 o'clock hour as well. Full reaction to an Orioles sweep at Petco of the Padres. Are you kidding? This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples. The Padres comeback has fallen short as they lose to the Orioles today, 7-5, getting swept by the Orioles at home. They have now lost 8 of their last 10 games. They have an off day tomorrow before they start a 3-game series in Colorado over the weekend. Staples, I know everyone's looking to save this summer. Well, at Staples, your back-to-school budget is saved by the easy button. Yes, the easy button. I'm talking supplies at as low as 25 cents. I might have to check out those out after this, John. Pencil that in, Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We have immediate post-game reaction to a Padres series sweep. They were swept at home at the hands of the Baltimore Orioles of all teams. They have lost 5 of 6. The Padres have an 8 of 10. They're completely in a free fall right now. We'll hear from Mike Shildt in the next 15 minutes. We'll hear from Kevin Acee at Petco at 5:30. Goes back to what we said over the last hour. It was a comeback, but it's zero sum. It's September. You can't take solace in losing a series and getting swept in a series by the Baltimore Orioles. I don't care how it transpired. Today, more of the same. Deja vu all over again. Starting pitching, too big of a hole, and the Padres rally falls short. They lose 7-5. They're still in firm playoff positioning, Jim, but I don't know how much longer we're going to be saying that. You just can't lose every day and remain in firm playoff positioning. So 22 games to play, an off day Thursday. They're heading for Denver and all that entails, and we'll see where the Padres go from here.
All right, so looking at the standings right now, they're a game and a half up on the Mets for the 6th seed. Okay. They are 5 games up on both the Reds and the surging red-hot San Francisco Giants. In the divisional race right now, they're 3 back of the Dodgers. Dodgers play later tonight against Pittsburgh.
4 back. Are you updated? Because they're one ahead of the Mets.
Oh, I'm not updated.
Yeah, so
sorry.
These are all off.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. 1 up on the Mets. Sorry. 5.5 up on the Reds and the Giants.
Correct.
And then in the division, it's 3 back, but they're 4 back in the loss column with the Dodgers holding the tiebreaker.
And 4.5 games back of the 4 seed as well.
Right.
If they don't win the division and they want to secure a home playoff series.
And they're 5 back in the loss column there.
So they'd have to overcome those 4.5 games, 5 in the loss column, to your point. They're much closer to the Mets, 1 game separator, than they are the Cubs or even the Dodgers at this point. And yes, they still have 5 games in hand in the loss column against the Reds and the Giants. But guess what? The next team to come here is Cincinnati after that series in Denver against the Rockies.
The biggest takeaway from today in this series and the last week and a half is clearly the starting pitching has failed this team. And when you look at this series, and then you look at the series against the Twins, and then you look at the series against the Seattle Mariners, and you can even go back to parts of August as well, the starting rotation is a major, major problem. It is the root of the issues with the Padres right now. That's number 1 on the list is their starting pitching, where Kevin Acee was right. Kevin Acee has been harping on this for a couple months, and we've only been talking a lot about the offense and the lineup construction and Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado. Now those guys still have to pick it up, and they still, aren't doing the team any favors. But it all starts with starting pitching, and the starting pitching for this team has been just flat out awful.
It's the manner in which they've been awful that's almost most impressive. The opposite usage of the word, like not impressive in a good way. They fall behind immediately. They give up long balls and they provide no length. So there's nothing.
Is that good?
There's nothing you can say positively about the rotation. I mean, you have Nick Pivetta who's put together a very good year. But outside of that, it's like not only are you not getting length, you are not given a chance because you're falling behind each and every day. And then you're using your bullpen for 15 plus outs. And now it's 9 consecutive games where you've had a starter go 5 or fewer innings. And I'm not saying it's 2021 all over again, because 2021, they finished under 500 and it was a different situation. They're 5.5 games up on a playoff spot September 3rd. They were not in 2021, but things happen quick. A week ago Sunday, they were in first place.
Now they're 3 back.
10 days later, they're holding on for dear life just in general.
Just for like their chances at the division. They're 3 back, really 4 back, but really kind of 5 back because they're 4 back in the loss column.
They are 5 games back of the Dodgers in the truest sense of the word, because they have to overcome the 4 games of the loss column and have fewer losses. So they would need the Dodgers to take on 5 additional losses from this point forward. Think about that. In the final 22 games, the Dodgers need to lose 5 more times than the Padres for the Padres to be clear of the Dodgers in the NL West.
Looking at the scoreboard on baseball right now, Dodgers actually are trailing the Pirates 1-0 in the top of the 2nd inning, but the Dodgers have 2 on, nobody out there. The Mets lost today to the Tigers 6-2. And then when you look at everybody else, the Cubs play the Braves at 4:40. I think that's it, right? Those are the only teams I'm really looking at right now.
Honestly, dude, and I love scoreboard watching. I don't even care. I mean,
Right,
I care, but I don't.
Yeah, fix your own house.
I'm sorry, you close 6-16. Like, what do you haven't earned anything. And
Get your
I'm
own
not
house in
saying
order.
they're going to do that, but they just went 2-8 over the last 10 games. So like they have to go earn it. It should be there for the taking against teams like the White Sox and the Rockies. They have a lot of those games still to come, but it should have been there for the taking against the Twins and the Orioles.
So 22 games remaining now?
22. And it's like, well, the easy stretch, 16 games, Twins, Orioles, Rockies. Well, to start the 16-game stretch, the 11-5 stretch that Jim was saying might not be good enough
for a division
is 1-5. So now it's a 10-0 run to get to 11-5.
Well, you do play the Rockies 7 times of the next 10
They're
games.
not going 10-0 in their next 10 games. Or anywhere near it, based on the way they're playing.
Based on the way they're playing, yes. And the starting pitching as a major problem, yes, I agree.
I mean, listen, anything is possible, but right now it's not, they got to go to Denver and sweep the Rockies. No, they don't. They need to go to Denver and win Friday night.
Win
they
the
need to go to
game.
Denver and find ways to put all this behind them and win a game or 2. They need to come home. They don't need to sweep the Reds. They need to play well against the Reds. Like, you can't now be asking for everything when you're getting nothing. Like, they need to show us anything now. Anything.
And you don't think that Mets series in New York is going to be a big one?
Huge.
You don't think that the Brewers coming here are just going to say, you know what, we've already locked up a postseason spot, so we're not going to play?
I'm most worried about that. You can't skip the Rockies, but the Reds home series. I mean, the Reds are going to look at what's happening and say, you know what? As bad as we've been, we haven't taken advantage of everything. And here we are in San Diego. We're a series win or a series sweep away from being right where we need to be.
Yeah. It goes back to the question that we've had the last couple days with the injuries that they have sustained. Like, if I told you right now, though, they're in as a 6, but they're fully healthy, you don't know how they've played to end September. You don't know what their final record is. You just know that they're the 6, but they're fully healthy.
Dude, I might take the 6 seed walking wounded. See what I'm saying? Because better than the 7 seed.
Well, yeah, 7 seed, you're not in the postseason.
I'm not willing to talk 7 seed, the worst spot in baseball. There is no 7 seed. I'm not going to go there fully yet at 5.5 games. But you know where I'll go there is when that thing gets down to like 4.5. So, I mean, we're a day away from that. You lose Friday. The Reds or the Giants. Giants are red hot. So, like, you're a day or 2 away from this being pretty close to thin, like a thin margin between in or out.
At least a series away.
You're a series away.
You're a series away. You lose 2 or 3 to Colorado over the weekend. And I don't know who the Giants and the Reds play, but
someone takes 2 out of 3 or more.
Then now it's where your number
4.5, 3.5. I mean, there's a number where it gets very dicey. And I think that number is well before 1 or 2 games. It's probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah. And you got to hope that the Dodgers continue to slide. I mean, the Dodgers are really like helping you out here by playing as bad as they've played.
I agree.
Because if they were just playing 500 baseball for the last 2 months, this thing would be over as far as the division race goes.
Yeah, you're right. Because right now you said it's 3, but it's 4, but it's 5. If it was anything more than that, if it was like that falls more than like 4 or 5 to 5 to 6 or 7, it's done.
Yeah.
And honestly, right now, you're pushing done category.
Because here's the thing. You don't play the Dodgers again to directly affect the standings. You have to rely on other bad teams to beat the Dodgers.
Yep.
You know, it's the light is getting dimmer and dimmer as far as your hopes to win a National League West division title. I'm not saying it's completely done. Like, I'm not saying it's 100% done. But at this moment in time, with how they're playing, knowing that you are, 4 back in the loss column, but you're really 5 back because you have to outplay the Dodgers here and beat and have a better record by them by just one game because they hold the tiebreaker. That's the part where it's like, 22 remaining and you got to do all that, and your pitching is in shambles, and you've just lost your best reliever possibly, and you don't have a shortstop anymore.
What did we say earlier in the week? We're like, you know what? There's going to be a point where it's too many dominoes. They are now at that point. They're dealing with a lot. They're underwater. Bogarts, Merrill's a shell, right? Jason Adam, like, you're in a situation where the injuries have piled up to impact your ability to win at the same clip at the major league level. Not to say they can't win or they're the worst team in baseball or it's all over. I'm just telling you the injuries have added up to a point where it is clearly impacting them on the field of play in some way.
Yeah.
Whether it's King, Adam, Bogarts, Merrill, like, in some way it's added up.
Oh, absolutely. It's added up. And just going back to the Dodgers, I mean, with how poorly the Dodgers are playing, to not take advantage of that, man, that's a kick in the groin. Because
you could have just played average baseball. 5-5 last 10, you're like in first place.
Like, they're literally giving it to you on a silver platter.
Yeah.
And you can't take advantage of it.
That's right.
And then when they play you, they turn into the best team in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they don't play you, they're average, and you can't take advantage of that. That's just so wildly disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gone 4-2 against the Twins and the Orioles. Is that asking for too much? No.
And then
you're in first place.
Yeah, you're in first place.
I mean, you're right there. You're like even in the loss column or a game back, but they didn't. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to get, I've said this the last 3 days. I don't think they get saved by their schedule. I just don't. I don't think they're saved by it. I think they're saved by their play. I think they need to play better. I think these other teams have nothing to play for. That's advantage other teams. You're seeing that play out.
Clearly,
the Twins and the Orioles, they have carefree, man. They're throwing guys with 6 ERAs in the 9th inning.
Yeah, clearly the whole notion of their easy schedule, throw that out the window. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's not even that easy anymore because you've gotten through those 6 games. You still have, you just said Brewers, Mets, Reds isn't easy.
I've preached for like 2 months.
Easy.
To get to that part of your schedule. And once you get there, if you're in a playoff position, you're in.
Yep.
I still believe that.
Yeah.
Like, actually, kind of what I said isn't too far from being off.
Yeah, no.
But I was banking on like them to also take advantage of that and then compete for a division too. I mean, look, it's still in front of them. They can still do it, right? Just feels very bleak right now, doesn't it?
It's very bleak. And to have the utmost confidence in them going out and playing their best baseball in Denver, I hope they do. They'll need to play well. They'll need to play well is what I would say to win that series. As crazy as that sounds, I think they'll need to play well to win that series in Denver. I don't think they just stumble into 2 wins. I think we'll need to see them playing better than we've seen them play over the last 3 series.
Field. That place is
bizarre, man. You fall behind 5-0 there, and you're all of a sudden back in. I mean, again, you can overcome it, but you get the point. You can't keep falling behind.
Coors Field is it's a house of horrors. Anything can happen there, and even if you did trail 5-0, game's not over. If you're up 5-0, game's not over.
Right, but I mean, you got to stop the trailing every single game. That methodology, that path is not the formula for the Padres to win. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt. He has spoken with the media. You will hear his comments in their entirety on the other side. Mike Shildt in his entirety on the other side.
Well, it's a wait.
Well, Kevin Acee is going to join us as well coming up at 5:30. The Padres swept. The Padres swept at home by the Orioles. Today, Nestor Cortes has 4 home runs, a leadoff home run, back-to-back home runs. I don't even know what to say.
Well, we're just waiting. So let's go to break.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt on the other side. Again, the Padres fall to the Orioles. They're swept at home. They lose today 7-5. Mike Shildt on the other side. This is Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we're going to hear from Mike Shildt. Padres lose to the Orioles. They are swept at home. They have lost 5 of 6 and 8 of 10. Where does this start, Brent? Mike Shildt, maybe on Cortez. Game reaction. All right, so Mike Shildt with the media just a moment ago. His thoughts on today.
Yeah, you're pleased with the effort. You're pleased with the fight. You're pleased with the competitiveness, but you're clearly disappointed and frustrated with the outcome. Not only today, but recently. Very frustrated, very disappointed. I got to look at myself. I got to be better. I'm not disappointed in our players. I'm just disappointed that, we've been able to have a stretch. We haven't been able to shake hands more consistently, but I have no confidence lost in this group whatsoever. If anything, it'll make us stronger. Every confidence in that. And this too shall pass. It'll pass soon.
I know you scored the 5 runs. Guys got some big hits. The first 5 innings, I wonder what you thought of the at-bats during that time and how much, if that could be attributed to being down 7-0.
Listen, no, we're here with the winners find solutions, but we're human too. And, I don't think I know. I mean, look, we've had 2 leads past the 5th inning in the last 10 games, and we've won both of them. Shockingly. So it like I said, it took it, no excuses. Give Povich credit. And then the group figured him out and, got a little spark with, not surprisingly, Manny with the 2-run homer to get us on the board. And so, but yeah, it's a little bit of a kick playing down.
I know it is a day-to-day thing with a different starter going each day, but how do you kind of get things rolling in the rotation again?
It's a great question. We've got to, the keeping the ball in the ballpark part is a part of it. It's for me, it's more they can get back to the fundamentals. They're going to hit their home runs occasionally, and it's going to happen. But it's the walks that are leading up to it that have led to damage. And again, guys are going to earn walks. Tip your hat. There's occasionally where we pitch around the guy and he gets a walk. We understand what that we're looking to do. But the walks or the hit by pitches that have started to show up a little bit more consistently, those are got to be eliminated. And the other one is, we've got to do a better job of pitching inside consistently. And I want to be clear, that doesn't mean bad people or anything like that. It's not how we compete. But we need to use both sides of the plate and keep people a little more honest, which will keep people in the ballpark a little more consistently.
Just the second immaculate inning in Padres history today for Mason Miller. What do you think?
How about that? It'd been way better and funner if we'd had a 2-run lead. But, good for Mason. It's electric. Slider was unhittable.
What have you come to realize about his stuff, having now had him for a month, that maybe you didn't?
I knew he had the arm. I didn't know the slider was as good as it was and the confidence he has in it, coupled with the big fastball. And he's got that third pitch, which he doesn't necessarily need, but I was pleased about how good that changeup is. Clearly, he's not going to be a changeup guy, but he's got it in his bag.
Not only have these games necessarily been tough, but they've also been really long. How important is like an off day tomorrow to help you guys kind of reset in this final stretch?
Yeah, you speak to a good point. The games have been longer, and the question is, why? And the why is a lot of reasons, but a big part of the why is not consistently being able to, have shorter innings, not be able to, you walk guys and there's mound visits and there's trips and there's, throwing over, and we just got to get in this rhythm of get that first hit or, involve our defense to strength of ours. And then play with a little more rhythm and pace. That's how we play the game. We just have not been able to get in any kind of good rhythm for the last 10 games. And, those games happen, and you'll sprinkle them in throughout the season, and you may have a couple that, end up being consecutive. But the one thing I'm really comfortable and confident in, we're seeing a lot of them, but they're done. I'm declaring them over.
What was he declaring?
Wait, what?
Can you play back the last 10 seconds, Brent? I didn't know what he was referring to. Just pick it up anywhere.
Bars, and then play with a little more rhythm and pace. That's how we play the game. We just have not been able to get in any kind of good rhythm for the last 10 games. And, those games happen. And you'll sprinkle them in throughout the season, and you may have a couple that, end up being consecutive. But the one thing I'm really comfortable and confident in, we're seeing a lot of them, but they're done. I'm declaring them over.
Like this style of play where they're trailing like this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's just declaring that won't happen again.
Well, then what if it does happen again,
Should have
Mike?
declared that a month ago.
Like
that was weird.
This is the dumbest thing you could say.
My takeaway there, that's one of the few times this year he's actually at a loss. He was all over the place.
Yeah,
you notice that he was
right?
He was flustered there because he doesn't know what to say, which validates our opinions. Where I'm like, what is going on with this team?
How can you declare something to be done
that you have no control over?
You have no control over it, Mike. None.
What was he? What was that? That was very weird.
And taking blame. Okay, cool. Take the blame, but. You also don't throw a pitch. You don't go and taking a bat. Like, it's on the players, dude. It's on the players.
He sounded very, I haven't heard him a lot like that in his 2 years, at a loss for words. I haven't.
Well, he's declared it's over. So if they lose 7-1 on Friday to the Rockies, then what?
Because what he just never do that. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to be very careful to be like, the season is on the line tomorrow. We have to win. And then what if you lose?
Like the style of play that we're playing.
I've declared it's over.
It's over. I declared it's over. What are you talking about?
Unfortunately, you can't make that declaration when your pitching staff is Dylan Cease, Yu Darvish, Nestor Cortez, like guys that are behind 4-0 and giving you 3 2/3 innings every single time out. I mean, the whole story today, like, let's not bury the lead. Nestor Cortez could not have pitched worse. You lost because of Nestor Cortez. Okay. Simple as that, right?
Yep.
You lost because Nestor Cortez didn't do his job. Most starting pitchers can go 5 innings and allow 3 runs, right? That's a 5.4 ERA. Most starting pitchers can go 5 innings and allow 3 runs. What did he do today? He didn't make it out of the third and left trailing 6-0.
Kyle Glazer just put out this tweet. Padres starters have failed to complete 5 innings in 8 of their last 9 games. Padres starters their starter overall numbers in that span, 7.52 ERA and 32 1/3 innings pitched, 3 1/3 innings per start, 41 hits, 15 walks, 10 home runs allowed.
By the way, the other start that he's talking about, the 8 of 9 that they haven't completed 5, the 9th, they went 5. So there's no outlier in there. It's not like one of the starts was 8 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't get through 5 innings. 8 of the last 9 games, they can't get a pitcher to go 5 innings.
I just want to go back to Shildt. So let me just get this straight. He just declared that
the poor play,
the starting pitching being awful, them losing games and getting swept, that's over? He says it's over? Like, he definitively said that's done with? It's done. It's not going to happen again, right?
He did. I think that's what he was saying. It didn't really make sense, but I think that's what
it made no sense.
No sense.
But that's what I think he said, which would be incredibly idiotic to say, because what if it happens again, which it very well could happen over the next 22 games.
Could happen Friday night.
Unless you are just going to go on a 22 game stretch where you have quality start after quality start after quality start and you go 22-0.
That'd be cool.
Because then what he said there, okay, cool. Yeah, it's over. But you're going to lose another game here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sign up for them losing another game. As in, that's it.
He just, I don't know, man.
All right,
Mike Shildt, I can't. Sometimes I just can't with Mike Shildt.
I want reaction from Padres fans, like just in terms of your level of concern with what you're seeing on field. Is this a blip or is it more? Is this going to continue or stop? What's your level of concern, Padres fans? Simple as that. 877-767-4760 or text us 70470. Start it with the word team. What is your level of concern if you're a Padres fan with how this is playing out over the last 10 games where they're 2-8 against bad teams? 877-767-4760. Give us a call right now. We have Lil Wayne tickets to give away later this hour. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. Padres losing to the Orioles today, 7-5. They almost made a comeback, but they fell short. They got swept by the Orioles. They've lost 8 of 10. And now looking at the wild card standings, they are 4.5 game back of the Chicago Cubs and still 3 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Dodgers, though, are losing to the Pirates 2-0. Keep an eye on that game throughout the rest of the show. Staples has school supplies as low as 25 cents. Your back-to-school budget saved by the Easy Button. The Easy Button, what did you think I was going to say? Love me some Staples. That was easy.
All right, we want to hear from Padres fans. Phone lines are open. You can vent with us, Jon and Jim, here until 6. Kevin Acee at 5:30. We'll give away Lil Wayne tickets later this hour. That's a week from tonight, North Island Chula Vista Amphitheater. But if you want to call, Padres get swept at home by the Orioles. They've lost 8 of 10. How concerned are you? 877-767-4760. Let's go to the phones. Dave's been very patient, and he's back with us on Jon and Jim. Thanks, Dave.
Well, guys, I'm not going to be nice. I'll tell you that right now. This is disgusting. It's pathetic, and it's unacceptable. The warning signs were out there. Several of us, including Kevin Acee and myself, talked about the starting pitching anomalies that were going on that could have been addressed, should have been addressed at the trade deadline. I love all the trades that AJ did, but I was shocked that he would be willing to gamble with history repeating itself from 2021. If you don't forget, that was the great time of Mike Clevenger, Sean Manaea, and that crew that basically embarrassed us into the playoffs. So we're at that whole point again. They may get to the playoffs, they may back in, but they're cemented now into this problem with the starting pitching. They're stuck with these guys. And I don't even know what's up with Mike King. I'm really disappointed in him. I think there's a hell of a lot more going on behind the scenes with him than what we know. But here's the worst part, and I'll finish up with this. Think about this. We have one of the best pitching coaches supposedly in the game in Ruben Niebla. And he can't straighten these guys out and get them to perform at an acceptable level at this point in the season. Are you kidding me? So that tells me where we're at, guys. This is going to be a real nail biter right down to the end. And I have zero confidence that this team is going to do much more of anything because you got a manager that wants to put lipstick on everything. He says, I have to be better as a manager. Okay, Mike, what is that? Tell me what that is.
Dave,
Thanks,
we
guys.
appreciate you. Here's the thing.
Ruben Niebla's fault.
Ruben Niebla. It's not Ruben Niebla's fault. Nestor Cortez allows 4 home runs to like 10 batters faced. It's not Ruben Niebla's fault. Dylan Cease followed up his top 5 Cy Young finish with this awful year.
It's more of the organization's fault having Nestor Cortez go out there.
I'm sorry. Like, it's Victor Rodriguez's fault.
They can't hit.
But last year they did hit.
Yeah, they're 29th in baseball in home runs. That's all Victor Rodriguez's fault.
At some point, you just put it on the team.
Yes, it's
that
on the
2
team.
weeks ago went 14-3 over a 17-game stretch.
Right. And then they just fall off a cliff. You know, the trades, look, at the time of the trade with Freddie Fermin and Bergert and Kolek, there was a lot, including us. We're like, wait, what? It didn't make any sense.
Gave up a good amount, yeah.
It didn't make any sense. Then you looked at the entirety of the trades that he did make, and you're like, okay, it all makes sense. But still, that Freddie Fermin trade over there, like, I don't really know about that one. But at least they got, 2 really good bats, upgrade their lineup. They got Mason Miller, and, those 3 players have been pretty damn good for this team. But still, I don't know about that Freddie Fermin trade over there. Now it's turning out like, hey, you could have used Bergert. And I don't know about Kolek, but at least you could have used Ryan Bergert. And to see what he's doing in Kansas City right now makes it even worse.
100%. I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, I mean, they could absolutely use those 2 starting pitchers. Let's go back to the phones, 877-767-4760. What's your level of concern, Padres fans? 877-767-4760. Joe, you're on with Jon and Jim, and thanks for calling in.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen? I'm just leaving the game right now with my son, and first, I want to say it is good to see Tatis and Machado kind of get back on the train with the power and swinging the bat and whatnot. But it's a little concerning when you see Mike Shildt do what kind of the definition of insanity is, and is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And he keeps pinch hitting Will Wagner in these crucial spots. I mean, in the ninth inning, a bloop and a blast ties the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And I just don't understand like what his infatuation is with Will Wagner and why he trusts so much in him when he hasn't done anything for us yet. He hasn't proved himself.
Thanks for the call, Joe. I just think that, you use Gavin Sheets in the previous inning, right? Was he in the starting lineup today? I forget.
Sheets struck out in the 8th. In terms of was he in the lineup today?
Hold on here. Let me just look at this real quick. So, no, Gavin Sheets was not in the lineup today.
He pitched hit in the 8th. In the end.
Gavin Sheets pitch hit in the 8th. So the only player you have left on your bench is Will Wagner.
Bryce Johnson.
Bryce Johnson's been actually pretty decent for them in the limited time that he's played. So it's not like you had Sheets on the bench and you decided to go to Will Wagner. Or if you had Tatis and Merrill on your bench and you decided to go to Will Wagner. Oh, wait, that was Monday night.
I mean, their bench is still a problem, is what we're saying.
Well, that's what happens when you lose Xander Bogaerts. And it just kind of makes everything wonky.
I still go back to like, you're so concerned about being strong defensively that it's costing you offense, and we could get into the particulars. By the way, the best defense in the world doesn't save the ball from going over the wall, although Ramon Laureano did.
Right.
But the best defense doesn't save a ball from being hit 450 feet. Go with your offense, not your defense first.
I'll never do it.
877-767-4760. What's your level of concern, Padres fans? Let's go to Paul on line 3. Paul, thanks for your patience. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Oh, thanks for taking my call. To be honest with you, this is bleak because I remember the last 4-game losing streak, the last 2 against Florida, and then the first 2 versus the Cardinals. Like at that point we had time, and then obviously it unfolded pretty nicely with the trade deadline. And it's almost, to me, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like Mike Shildt is like codependent. He's enabling these guys, like people, that should enable alcoholics and drug addicts. Like Dave Roberts, I heard that he benched Teoscar. It's like that needs to happen. It's like light a fire under there, what, and that's not happening as far as what I can hear and see.
I appreciate you, Paul. Who can you bench? You have no production.
You're not benching Manny. You're not benching Arise, Tatis, Merrill.
Is it point proving season?
No, it's not.
You're past it. That's not who Mike Shildt is. You talk, if there is a way to lose the clubhouse, it's after you've been one way for 2 years. Say, you know what? I'm going to change my ways. Yeah. You've lost them. You have to stay true to who you are. And I do agree when things get tough, when you lean into the, I trust this team. I know who they are. Okay, maybe it is a little like he's certainly soft on them publicly. I don't know how he always is privately, but he's always very soft on them publicly. But you can't change the way you manage. It's September 3rd.
I would hope that he is different behind closed doors than he is publicly to the fan base and the media. Because if he's the same way behind closed doors as he is to the fan base and the media, that's troubling. But it did work out last year. They didn't win 93 games.
But I don't think he is the exact same way privately than he is publicly.
No, I don't think either. But a lot of times, he's not in that clubhouse holding court after every game or before every game. He'll maybe check in with some guys, but for the most part, players have their routine. Players do their own thing. And I think rarely before games does the manager, touch every player on his team and talk to them about maybe what they're struggling with or what they're doing well, or giving them, words of encouragement. Like there might be times that players don't talk to the manager for a couple days on end just because of they need to keep with their routine, and maybe their routine doesn't involve Mike Shildt.
Well, it might be time for the old meeting, whether it's with Shildt or the players. What would it really take? You lost 8 of 10 to bad teams. You lost 5 of 6 to bad teams. You've been swept by the Orioles. There's 22 games left. Like, you might not want to put this one off. If you got something on your mind, guys or manager, like it might be time to make sure to get your point across now.
Who's the player that you're calling out in the team meeting?
Well, no one, because of what we're saying. I don't think he is.
Well, I look,
if I was managing
behind closed doors, I feel like for the most part, it's fair game. You're not
calling out players.
I'm not saying that you're calling out like players. What I'm saying is maybe you gotta be like, hey, as a group, you have to be better.
Exactly. Like, hey, absolutely 100%. Who am I calling out? Hey, you 5.
Yeah.
Get over here. And
Yeah.
Nick, I hate to put you through this, but these other 4 aren't doing their jobs, so just go along with it.
Yeah.
But like, come on. But the thing is we're saying you cannot. You have Darvish, the respected 39-year-old veteran. You have the twice finishing the top 5 in Cy Young voting Dylan Cease, who's about to free agent. Like you can't. So there's like a game that's being played. The game everyone understands. Pitch better. Go deeper into games. Go 5 innings. Give this team a chance to win. And that's not going to be easy this weekend in Denver.
I also do think that Dylan Cease, his overall year has really hurt this team.
It has.
He's the only one in their rotation, along with Nick Pivetta, to make every one of his starts.
Mm-hmm.
And every one of his starts is an adventure. He is, I think, the number one issue with where this team is at right now, as far as the slide in their rotation production. I blame Dylan Cease a lot. If I'm putting blame on somebody,
I think
I'm putting a lot of blame on Dylan Cease.
I think he gets a lot of blame, and you could easily advocate now, a month later, that they should have moved him at the deadline as opposed to keeping him around.
But think about that.
I know.
If they did end up moving him, and there was a moment in time with about 15 minutes remaining in the deadline that we thought he was going to be moved to the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that without Dylan Cease they'd be better, but I mean, without Dylan Cease, like they'd probably be worse off because they traded away Berger and Kolek. And then you would have JP Sears, Nestor Cortez in this rotation without Michael King, and then Darvish, who stinks right now, and Nick Pivetta. Like it might have been worse.
Which is hard to imagine based on what we're seeing right now. All right, 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in. Kevin Acee is going to join us live from Petco Park at 5:30. Continued reaction to the Padres getting swept at home to the Baltimore Orioles. What is your level of concern? We want to hear from Padre fans. 22 games to play in the regular season. 877-767-4760. We take more of your phone calls coming up. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all of our $5,000 winners and iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher. Powered by Donors Choose, there's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference. And maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educator shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. I don't know if Ruben Niebler or Victor Rodriguez are getting those teacher nominations today.
No.
From some of our listeners. We'll hear from Nestor Cortez. He spoke in the clubhouse. Marty Caswell has some of that sound that we'll share with you coming up at 5 p.m. What does the text line say about what's playing out here at Petco?
619 number says Mike Shildt saying done as in, quote, it's in the past now. Or they're past it.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Okay.
But he doesn't know that, right?
He doesn't know that at all. They could lose this weekend. You can't definitively say that. It's like writing checks you can't cash. You can't.
Right. Like, yeah. Well, we're going to be way better. Okay.
How do you know that?
Right.
You can't definitively say that. It's like in the offseason when he's like, yeah, Roki's going to sign here. Guess what? He didn't sign there.
He did say that at the winter meetings.
Yeah.
Thankfully, maybe.
Probably, right. Yeah, because then they probably wouldn't have signed Nick Pivetta. Or maybe they would have signed Nick Pivetta. I don't know.
Without Nick Pivetta?
Well,
Where are we?
Exactly. My guess is also I think if Roki went to a team that wasn't the Dodgers, he'd be better developed as a starting pitcher. But
yeah, I mean, but this has been a complete
it's
disaster.
been bad. It's been very bad for him.
Yeah.
858 number says my level of concern is the Padres are going to be one and done in the playoffs, and the DeVries and Wood are Hall of Famers.
Might be a little early on that.
Just a little early.
Right.
Just a little early. 619 number says I am at Red Alert 5. A different 619 number says launch the alarm. What else here? Another 619 number says I believe he was talking about the pace of play not losing.
But he also doesn't control that. He doesn't know if they'll be cleaner, if they won't be walking as many batters, if their pitchers will be better. How can he control that?
858 number says I'm not concerned at all, man. It's the Padres. This is what they do. Yeah, I don't understand what Mike Shildt. Maybe we'll get clarification from Kevin Acee at 5:30. Because if he's definitively saying they're not going to play this bad anymore for the rest of the season, and then they immediately play bad, or they do have another game or stretch where they play bad, like you just look like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately he doesn't. I think he was trying to say like, "Hey, I'm going to speak it into existence."
Okay,
like, "Hey, I'm declaring that we're done with it. We're going to turn the page. I am hoping to will us to." That's what it felt like to me. But he said it very poorly. And you're right. Kevin was in the room. So he'll join us coming up at 5:30.
You can't make definitive statements on something, especially in sports of all things.
Yeah, I want to hear it again. Do you have it, Brett? I want to hear exactly what he said.
You speak to a good point. The games have been longer. And the question is, why? And the why is a lot of reasons. But a big part of the why is not consistently being able to, have shorter innings, not be able to, you walk guys and there's mound visits and there's trips and there's, throwing over. And we just got to get in this rhythm of get that first hit or, and involve our defense to strength of ours. And then play with a little more rhythm and pace. That's how we play the game. We just have not been able to get in any kind of good rhythm for the last 10 games. And, those games happen, and you'll sprinkle them in throughout the season, and you may have a couple that, end up being consecutive. But the one thing I'm really comfortable and confident in, we're seeing a lot of them, but they're done. I'm declaring them over.
See what I'm saying? Like it's almost like I'm making this declaration. I'm speaking it to occur. They're over.
Right.
That's what he was trying to do. It didn't come across like that.
But it's still also coming off as like we're done with the losing too.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Because if you stop doing what you're doing, you're going to win a lot of baseball games. Like if you improve and you become a team that has a bunch of guys going 6 and giving up only 2, like odds are you're going to win a bunch of baseball games. So he's declaring the bad play over.
Yeah, like he's putting a vex.
Yeah.
Right. He's doing the whatever.
He's doing the exorcism.
Right. On his own team.
Yeah. He's declaring that the bad play is over. It is done with.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't declare it because you just don't know.
Correct. He doesn't control it,
No.
unfortunately.
It's almost like he's saying, oh, this is like how he always like say, oh, it's just baseball. This is like him kind of being like, oh, this is just one of those fluky games, because we had all these pitching changes and everything else. And, normally it doesn't happen like this. And it's almost like he's saying, oh, this is just an out of the ordinary game. And, we won't have any more of these because we've had a whole season of these games already. And, they're done.
Maybe. I know this, that he's at a loss for words because we're examining his words that make no sense. And if you heard the first 4 minutes of that, maybe we'll share it again in the 5 o'clock hour. If you heard the entire 4:20 or 4:40 or whatever the length was, you would be pretty perplexed. If you missed that earlier, I thought Mike Shildt, for one of the rare times, was grasping. He didn't have a good feel for where he was going.
No, because he has one mode, and that is positivity over everything.
Yeah,
and when
true.
S hits the fan, he doesn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
At least publicly to the media and to the fans. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I don't know how it happens in team meetings or meetings with AJ and whatnot. But what I do know is what I see and what you see and what all the fans see. And he can't deal with it. He is extremely thin-skinned. He is a poor loser. And he a lot of times is delusional on what he's talking about because he's talking about a completely different game than what just transpired before our very eyes. Now, with all that being said, I'm not putting the onus and all the blame on Mike Shildt here. Of course
not. He's an easy target.
Extremely easy target, but we've also talked a lot about Manny Machado and a lot about Fernando Tatis Jr. and this pitching staff. That's without being said is those guys need to pick it up, and they are the number one people that I'm going to as far as who gets the blame here for this slide.
Did you see the tweet within the last hour that's like, Tatis and Machado homer, Laureano makes the catch of his career. Mason Miller has an immaculate inning as the Padres lose 7-5 to the Orioles at home.
It reminds me
of the
of
Angels tweet.
It's the Ohtani Angels tweet.
Yeah, the Ohtani Trout Angels tweets.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hear from Nestor Cortez as he speaks with the media following today's blow up at Petco Park.
Cortez the killer.
Oh, that's where I was going earlier. I may have labeled him Cortez the Killer too soon.
Cortez killed the team.
Exactly. That's what I meant. All right, we'll hear from Nestor Cortez on the other side. Kevin Acee joins us at 5:30. Don't go anywhere. Hour 4 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and there's no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer with new vehicles arriving daily, including their most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today, or make sure to head to Toyota.com if you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota. There you can check out all the latest offers, search inventory. Finding the Toyota that's just right for you starts at Toyota.com. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles helps to create a greener planet. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup supports a greener planet with a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles, or take each day further than you thought possible. And a new Camry with its stylish look that'll make an impression wherever you go. See your Toyota dealer today and discover what makes Camry legendary. There's no better time than now to get your local Toyota dealer. Get your local Toyota dealer today or Toyota.com. That's Toyota.com, your Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples. Padres lose again today to the Orioles, 7-5. They got swept by the Orioles here at Petco Park. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. Tomorrow, thankfully, they have an off day before they start a 3-game series against the Rockies on the road at Coors Field on Friday night. Other scores around baseball to watch if you're a Padres fan. Pirates lead the Dodgers 2-0 in the top of the 5th inning there. Braves and Cubs, they're tied, or scoreless, excuse me, and the top of the 2nd inning. And looking at what else we got here. Tigers beat the Mets today 6-2. I know everyone's looking to save this summer. Well, at Staples, your back-to-school budget is saved by the button. The easy button. I'm talking supplies as low as 25 cents. I might have to check out this after this. Pencil that in, Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. We're going to hear from Manny Machado and Nestor Cortez coming up, and then Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. So full reaction, Padres swept at home by the Orioles. They have lost 8 of 10. I don't know if they had lost 8 of 10 under Shildt. Truthfully.
Good question.
Maybe one other time. They lost 5 straight 4 times last year.
Yeah. Was it like an 8 out of 10 stretch?
I don't know. They have not lost 8 out of 10 a lot the last 2 years.
No.
Maybe one other time. But right now, they've lost 8 of their last 10 games.
Interesting.
Yeah, not good. But again,
not great, Bob.
You look at where they are. I mean, Dodgers aren't playing a ton better, but they are in front of the Padres.
The Dodgers are keeping the Padres in this thing.
I mean, they're at least making it possible, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, you're not winning the division without winning, but it's at least still possible because the Dodgers haven't played well, like the Padres.
Like the Dodgers could have ended this thing right now.
Yeah.
Like they could have ended this thing today if they just took care of business against the Pirates.
And they still may. What's in the 4th inning?
Yeah, 2-0 top of the 5th, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the game's over. So we'll see. Last night they trailed 4-0, 7-4, 9-7. Like the one thing they have is offense. Their pitching has been awful. All right, let's hear from Nestor Cortez. So he speaks with the media. This is from Marty Caswell.
Cortez the killer.
All right, Cortez got killed.
Marty
today.
Time TV.
He got killed. He allowed 4 home runs, leadoff home run, back-to-back home runs. This is Nestor Cortez with the media.
Yes, sir. As simple as not being able to put the pitches where you want to. What happened today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously got good swings. Wasn't able to locate as well as I wanted to. Similar to last game for me. Yeah, just having a tough time commanding pitches.
How frustrating is it given kind of what the rotation's been going through and not being able to get
Yeah, no, it's frustrating. Like I said, coming into today, I knew where we were at as far as bullpen taking a hit and covering up a lot of innings. And I wanted to be the guy to go out there and give as many innings as possible. And we just got to do a better job, plain and simple. Just got to try and get deep into games, especially me. Like 2 innings and 3 innings ain't going to cut in this league. So just got to be better.
Have you seen a run like this? I mean, where a talented rotation those couple weeks?
You know, it's tough to say, but it happens. That's why we play 162 games. This is one of the best pitching staffs in the league. I know this team came out hot to start off the year, was on an incredible run. Has been probably top 5 in the ERAs and pitching, and for the most part of the year until recent memory. And you just got to work harder and get better. That's all. There's no excuses. I think everybody here is making an effort to be better, including myself. So just start a streak on Friday of giving quality starts and going deep into games.
Mister, how disappointing though has this stretch been, given where you guys are in the season, what you're playing for, and also the teams that you have faced? Yeah,
no, it's tough. It's tough to lose against teams that aren't really in it, So, like I said, we just got to play better baseball and just all around baseball. Just give length, like I said, as I could speak for pitchers and for myself. just give length. I think if pitchers give length and we stay in the game, this offense has a chance to win every night. So, and if starting pitcher stays in the game as long as we can and turn it over to the bullpen, and we've already seen what they can do. So, it's on starting pitchers to give length and be able to compete out there.
The team did come back, gave themselves a chance. Just kind of emotionally, how do you feel like the clubhouse is handling a stretch like this?
It's a championship team. I think the guys in here know what's at stake. They know what we're competing for. They know we're right there in the division. There's sense of urgency, but there's no sense of panic for sure. I've been in clubhouses where we've gone in bad stretches and we haven't played good baseball for a little bit, but this is right up there with all the other good teams that I've played in. Like I said, there's no sense of panicking, and nobody's really, looking in here and saying what's going on. I think it's more of a, hey, let's be professional about it and let's get it right. And like I said, we start on Friday.
You've played in front of a demanding crowd before. I'm sure you heard the reaction. I mean, emotionally, how's it dealing with?
Yeah, I would have booed myself too if I was watching this game. Like I said, it's unacceptable. It's embarrassing. Just got to be better. That's all. I feel like as a professional athlete, that's all you can ask for. Just go out there, trust the process, and keep fighting, keep going. Like I said, this is a long season, 162 for the hitters, but 30, 35 for starters. You're gonna go in through bad stretches, and we're currently going into one, and we'll get out of it.
I would have booed myself too. Nestor Cortes taking responsibility, accountability for allowing 4 home runs and 6 runs in less than 3 innings today.
I mean, credit to Nestor Cortes for standing there and answering questions during a really, really tough outing from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right. Like, they got to be better. And he knows it. It's tough. It's tough because Nestor Cortes, I mean, it's all, for all accounts, haven't really known him for a long time, but stand-up guy. But at the same time, it's like, there's no, hey, here's a win because you're a stand-up guy. Like the win and loss column is all that matters.
I don't know what's next for Cortes. I don't know what options the Padres have. At some point, it's like it's a little bit insane to keep doing the same thing, throwing the same starters out there, ending up with the same result, trailing every night, not getting the length that he said was necessary from the rotation. Like, I don't really know what's going to happen next. I always said that Cortes was never about the postseason. It was about you needed him potentially to pitch effectively to help lead you to a postseason, but it's going kind of in the opposite direction. I mean, he's not helping them get there, unfortunately.
Is Randy Vasquez an option still? I know he was put on paternity leave recently, but
I mean, there's got to be an option better than what they're getting right now.
Maybe there's not. JP Sears,
yeah,
Nestor Cortes, Randy Vasquez. And again, it's not just the back of your rotation. It's the entirety of your rotation after Nick Pivetta,
mm-hmm.
Dylan Cease, and Yu Darvish. Those 2 guys I'm more disappointed in,
yeah, of course,
than Nestor Cortes and JP Sears or whoever else they have out there thrown in this rotation right now.
But all the games matter. And I mean, when Cortes starts,
I know
you got to at least give your team a chance.
Well, maybe that's where the problem lies, is you're starting Nestor Cortes in very big games in September.
Yeah, but most teams have a starter of Nestor Cortez's quality.
True.
And you're facing, his last 2 outings are against the Twins and the Orioles.
I know, 2 of the worst teams in baseball.
So you have to be, and this is where it does kind of fall on Nestor Cortes. Like, if you're going to pitch in a rotation in the major leagues, the prerequisite is going 5 innings and giving your team an opportunity to win these games. He's got a 6.3 ERA. That's, with a 1.63 whip. So, as he said, he took accountability. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know. I don't know how it gets fixed.
I don't know either, because Nestor Cortes, he ain't getting any better.
That's the thing. It's not like 5 days from now you're expecting him to go 6 shutout innings.
Yeah, he's I'm drawing a blank on his name. The pitcher last year from the Pirates they traded for that was really good in the second half, under the radar.
Yeah, he was really good. He was terrible in the first half and good in the second half. Someone put it in the chat.
I'm drawing a blank.
I know. Should be easy. Veteran Martin Perez.
Yeah. Yeah, Nestor Cortez ain't Martin Perez. Like Martin Perez ain't walking through that door.
Yeah, which is weird to even say.
Because he was really good for the Padres in the
was.
second half.
He really was.
The Padres needed Nestor Cortez to pitch like Martin Perez.
Right.
And it's been the complete opposite.
Yeah, completely.
Like a veteran lefty on the mound. Like, can you go out there and put together like 4 or 5 good starts for us in the second half and then just pitch kind of average the rest of the time? It's not Nestor Cortez, even though he did have one good start against the Dodgers. But other than that, it's been a toss-up.
Jackson Merrill comes back this series.
Over.
Hitless in 2 games.
Maybe it would have been nice to get him in at bat before you put him in the starting lineup, right?
Like had that opportunity. You joked, I don't know if it was on air or off, that they sat Tatis the other day against Aiken. And today against that reliever Aiken, Tatis took him deep. But he represented the winning run 2 days ago.
But the splits, John.
Yeah, sometimes I don't care.
Like Tatis' splits are pretty bad against lefties this year.
Yeah, but I mean, are we more trusting of Will Wagner?
No, we shouldn't be. Like there's no world, as we said, where if you have these 3 options, you go with Will Wagner, Merrill, Tatis, Wagner.
And that's where I feel like Shilt's kind of lost the room. Like he's kind of losing the narrative because he's like, you're making decisions where you're thinking. This is a no thought decision. You should never put yourself in a situation where Will Wagner's a choice when the other possibilities involve Fernando Tatis Jr.
Now, I will say if they were deciding to not go with Tatis because of the hamstring.
How can you say that when he plays the next day?
And also, it just completely doesn't make any sense if you were like, well, we wanted to give Merrill a day before he starts, but then go have him be a pinch runner.
Right.
What if the ball was hitting the gap? You're asking Merrill to score.
Yeah, you're asking him to go.
And you're asking him to go 100%.
None of it makes any sense because you can't tell me Tatis was truly down Monday and then in the starting lineup Tuesday. And you can't tell me Jackson Merrill couldn't pinch hit Monday when he's in the starting lineup Tuesday.
Look, I know Mike Shildt is like, I got to be better. Again,
maybe that's what he's referencing.
What? Maybe. Because other than that, there's nothing you could do, Mike. Like you can't put the blame on yourself when your players are stinking up the joint. Now, what you can blame yourself for is the moves you make. I've yet to ever hear Mike Shildt criticize his own moves and say, I made a wrong move there. That was my bad. I'll take the blame for that. But he'll never say that. So, like, what are you referring to, Mike, when you say you need to be better?
Yeah, it's a weird way he used it today. He's like, yeah, I need to be better. I'm like, well, you were down 7-0 in this game.
It's not your fault that Nestor Cortez gave up back-to-back home runs.
No, that I'm not going to put on Mike Shildt.
Because you need to keep him out there to get length.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take your starter out. He threw like 30 pitches in the first inning. You can't go to your bullpen in the second inning.
Yeah, after the second home run, even after after the second home run, you can't be like, well, we got to go to the bullpen here.
You can't do that every night.
You got to let him go out there and just try to eat up some innings because you know where you're at.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I don't know. Mike Shildt is whatever.
All right, Manny Machado in the clubhouse. We'll hear from him coming up on the other side. Kevin Acee joins us live at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego State back Saturday night on the road in Pullman against Washington State. Pre-game coverage at 5:15, kickoff at 7:15. On your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee will join us in 12 minutes. Oh, to be in Kevin's shoes, watching this play out in real time, traveling with the team in clubhouses, on planes. Be in Denver, presumably this weekend with the Padres. All right, Manny Machado has spoken with the media.
Yeah.
We have not heard this. This also comes from Marty Caswell, Marty Time TV. From inside the clubhouse, this was Manny Machado.
When you're down 7-0 before games barely started, you score the final 5 runs. What do you come away from this game thinking, Manny?
Well, obviously, terrible homestand. We got swept. Could have played a lot better. But just keep grinding, man. It's tough stretch. It's been a bad few weeks for us, but overall, I think we're gonna get over it.
Is that overall like what you guys have done before this stretch? I assume is what gives you confidence that.
I mean, we have we have everyone. We feel we have a good squad. I mean, obviously, the injuries with Bogey and Adams going down, I think that kind of hurt us a little bit, and start our mood down a little bit. But overall, we have confidence in the guys that are going to come and step up, and we know what type of team we have, and we're going through a tough stretch. It happens. Obviously, we don't want it to be happening. Not saying we're excited about it, but we know that we're going to come out of it, and when we come out of it, we're going to come out running.
How frustrated are you guys that you're not taking advantage of the teams that you are playing?
Listen, we don't really care who we're playing. Every team's in the big leagues. They're a very good team. It doesn't matter who it is, even if they're below 500 ball club. These guys were in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. We don't care who we play. We got to play our game, and we're not playing our game, and we're not executing it. And that's really that's the important part. It's not really about the other team. It's about us. We got to play better. We haven't really been playing to that level. So, just keep our heads up, keep going, keep grinding, and keep playing our game.
How are you feeling physically? I know Mike Shildt alluded to you last night to maybe wanting to give you a day off. How much you play, just the grind of the season.
Yeah. I mean, it's a grind for sure, but at this point, there's no time to take a day off. I should have taken one earlier on in the year, but at this point, there's 22 games left, and there's no time to sit back and sit on your heels. We gotta go out there and play.
The at-bats, 6, 7, got a lot better. Those first 5, when you're down like that, what is the challenge of hitting?
I mean, you have the guy that goes in there and throws strikes, and then we're obviously hit the ball hard. In some of those innings early on, we hit the ball hard, but just right at guys, and we couldn't really get it through a hole, or we couldn't get guys on. So whenever you're facing guys that throw strikes, it's kind of, and you're down. I mean, it's kind of, you got a double whammy there. So you just got to keep grinding, keep trying to wear them out, and hopefully that first guy gets on, like we did that inning.
These days off there in the schedule must be very precious to you then, like tomorrow.
They're all precious.
Yeah.
They're all precious.
What do you do? Do you move it all? I'm
gonna try. No, I'm gonna try to get away from baseball for a little bit. I think we all need that as a group. Just kind of get away from baseball, focus on something else. Some golf or some, football starts tomorrow, so that's a good thing. So just get away from baseball for a little bit, and come back Friday ready to roll.
You guys 37 runs last time you were in Colorado. You're looking forward to playing that?
I'm looking for a win. Whatever it takes to win a good ball game, whatever it is, go out there, just have good at bats, play some good defense, and try to score one more run than Colorado.
You guys gave yourselves a chance today after a discouraging start. Just emotionally, how do you feel like the team has kind of navigated this stretch?
It sucks. Definitely sucks, but we're ready to turn the page and get on to the next road trip, and hopefully start it off on the right path. So it's been a tough stretch for us, but we're confident in the guys that we have in here.
Pretty honest, Manny. At least
definitely.
At least he didn't drop it's baseball, because he easily could have.
He took good amount of it. Like he said, we sucked.
Yeah.
The homestand was horrible.
Yep.
We're not playing well. He said what I said, which is like, we're not going to get saved because we're playing the Rockies.
Right. We got to play our game.
This is the major leagues. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're not, we're playing a bad team. We're going to win. If it worked that way, they would have won more often the last 10 days.
Right. So I liked what I heard from Nestor Cortez and Manny Machado there, because they're not, pulling their punches on what they think about how they're playing recently.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So it's a good thing because you got to acknowledge when you suck, but you also have to make sure that this stretch doesn't, bleed into, hell no, we just lost 2 or 3 of the Rockies. And, you can't have that happen.
He knows what's on the line. It was interesting. He's like, hey, could you use a day? Yeah, I could use a day. And I should have taken one earlier in the year because I'm not taking a day now. There's 22 games left. The margins are thin. Manny Machado has to be in the lineup. Yeah. If he's 55%, I don't care, nor does he, apparently, based on what he just said. He has to play. If he can stand, he plays. He's obviously dealing. I mean, it all adds up, dude. That's just how professional sports work. You can't fight off Father Time. He's been on his feet a ton for years on end. He's no longer 23. He's 33. I mean, he's an older player. He's not old, but he's an older player. And he's obviously going through the impact of a 162-game season. He's got to overcome it. Homer today. Hopefully that continues on the other side.
I mean, look, yeah, they need off days, but they had an off day on Thursday last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they played 15 in a row.
Right.
And
they have a couple down the stretch in September. 3 maybe coming up still?
After tomorrow, they have 2 left.
Yeah, so 3 from here to the finish. 3 over the final 22 games. They're fine.
They had 4 off days in August.
Yeah, they shouldn't be completely worn thin.
No, they shouldn't. It's not like they're going through a stretch where you have back in, when was it? May and June.
Yeah.
They had 1 off day in like a 20-game stretch or something crazy like that. So the off day conversation to me is kind of BS because that's not an excuse when I look at the schedule here and you had 4 off days in August and you have 3 in September.
I get it from Manny, a guy that
I get it, but at the same time, I mean, like,
but he's not making the excuse. He's being asked.
I know.
Are you tired? Or do you need an off day? He's like, I can't take an off day.
I get it.
So, I mean, clearly he hasn't been the second half he's been looking for. I mean, this has not been a good second half.
No.
And he could still salvage it all. I mean, the overall numbers are going to be fine, but you might be looking at a Padres low in home runs hit. I don't know what his low is in RBIs in a full season here.
He's got 22 homers and 81 RBIs over his career in a Padres uniform, not counting 2020.
Yep.
His lowest home run total was 28 in 2021. His lowest RBI total as a Padre was 2019, 85.
All right, so he'll certainly surpass the RBI total, and the home run total might be tough. He needs 6 in the final 22 games to equal 28.
Right.
Possible, but not a guarantee. From Manny Machado. We're going to hear from Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from Petco Park. Padres swept at home by the Orioles. Kevin joins us live on the other side. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Staples. Padres got swept today by the Baltimore Orioles, losing 7-5. They have an off day tomorrow before they start a 3-game series in Colorado. Look at the scoreboard right now around Major League Baseball. Dodgers still trail the Pirates 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning there. Padres trail the Dodgers in the National League West by 3 games, 4 in the loss column. Staples has school supplies as low as 25 cents. Your back to school budget saved by the easy button. The easy button? What'd you think I was going to say? Love me some Staples. That was easy.
All right, Padres swept at home by the Orioles. They've lost 8 of 10. They're reeling heading into an off day and then a series in Denver against the Rockies. Great to connect once again with our Padres insider, Kevin Acee. I'll go kind of open question initially. And I think we all know what's going on, but I want to hear it in your words as you cover it, as you're consumed by it like we are, but even closer. I'll ask it this easily. What is going on here with the San Diego Padres? How do we explain what we've been watching over the last 3 series?
You have to start with the starting pitching. You just have to. Now, look, 5 innings of kind of mostly almost all bad at bats that started this game by the Padres before they came around. They closed it kind of meekly, but you're down 7-0 before the game barely started. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of even shocked by the 1-0 in the first inning. Look, and yeah, then they're in a funk too because, like, you know, look, there have been plays in many of the losses that have led to runs too, be they errors or just not typical plays. Last night was Cronenworth there. I think maybe the night before was Iglesias kind of not, you know, making the play he should have. Like I you know, there have been some things, but God, the starting pitching stats, the numbers over the past, well, certainly over the past 10 days, but even go back to the second game of the Dodgers series in the middle of August, and they're staggering. I mean, it's just impossible. And I'm focusing on that because that's a huge problem. I don't know how it's fixed except for these guys pitching better and Michael King coming back and after 2 or 3 starts being ready for the postseason. So that to me, that's worse than if it was just a funk. Like I wrote about today in the newsletter, World Series teams usually have at least a little skid in September. So this is not unheard of. It's kind of the nature of the Padres skid that I think is worrisome.
How big of a loss, in your opinion, is Jason Adam to this team? Because we didn't talk to you Monday.
If they can't get if they can't get their starting pitching to give them quality innings and get them into games in the let's just be like, you know, let's just say the 5th. No, we're not going to be selfish here or greedy and ask for the 6th. If they can't get them a lead, it really doesn't matter. Now, okay, let's go on the theory that they can, that these guys figure it out and they are able to do that. Then it's huge because now, well, I want to preface it by saying I still think they have the bullpen to get it done. They still have a strong bullpen. They were strong before Mason Miller got here. You could say Mason Miller's ostensibly replaces Jason Adam, but like that extra guy that Shildt had every night, the fact that it never seemed like they were out of relievers. Like we've talked about how overworked the bullpen's been, but like they always had guys to be able to do it. And like that's gone now, that cushion. So now at the same time that the Padres starting pitching isn't getting it done, then you got that. So it's like, well, where's the help coming from?
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Again, the Padres swept at home by the Orioles. We heard the audio of Mike Shildt postgame. You were in the room. Did you feel as if, or do you feel as if Mike Shildt is almost at a loss for how this is transpiring? It felt to me in listening to it that he was grasping a little bit, which is not something I'm used to hearing from him.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. And if we're talking about the starting pitching or like the whole overall thing, because I think that he's going to put a lot of this on the starting pitching. I don't even have a clue what he's talking about, that he's got to be better. I really don't. Like, I mean, okay. I mean, when doesn't everyone can say that at some point, right? Like, I can be better every single day. Well, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how Mike Shildt has lost these games, unless you want to get into a philosophical conversation about the guys he's putting in the lineup. But I mean, look, they're averaging like 4.5 runs a game. I'm not taking the offense entirely off the hook, but I'm just saying, like, who's supposed to fix this starting pitching when, like, Yu Darvish simply hasn't found his consistency in any way, shape, or form since coming back? I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, but like, let's just give up on thinking Dylan Cease is going to. All right. So that's a huge problem. And Michael King, who very well could be really good and give you those 5 quality innings in this postseason, also might not. And I say that only because we haven't seen him since May. So then Nick Pivetta, you're counting on him being as good as he's been. And so that you're not constantly relying on the bullpen in the postseason. I'm not quite ready. I mean, I'm getting closer. I'm not quite ready to consider the possibility they don't even make the postseason. I don't know where you guys are at on that, but I'm thinking still postseason problems here. So yeah, I do think Mike's at a loss, and I guess I wouldn't expect. I guess I wouldn't expect anything less than a guy being at a loss. Like, what are we gonna do if these guys don't get better? It will be. If these guys don't get better, I'll tell you this right now, it will be 2021. It'll be worse.
Yeah, I mean, me and John are on the side of like they're going to make the postseason, but at this moment in time, seeding be damned. Almost like just make it, just get in, and hopefully you're healthy. Like that's kind of like if you were to have to sign on the dotted line, either you're the 6th seed but you're fully healthy, or take your chances right now. What would you take?
Yep. And that's where I think maybe John was going, if I remember correctly, the other day. Like, right? Like, you obviously 6th seed, fully healthy. Phillies made it as the 6th seed. Did the Rangers make it as the 6th seed? They won it as the 6th seed. It can be done, and the Padres fully healthy are dangerous no matter where they have to play. And I say, forget the road record. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it means something. I don't know what it means. I don't think in the postseason it means anything. Guys have done the research again about the World Series teams, also about teams that, you know what? Generally, teams that finish the season more often than not strong, then at least make some damage, do some damage in the postseason. But plenty of teams have gone into the postseason like stinking it up, where their fan bases had to be like, well, no chance, one and done. And those teams have gone deeper. So I really I can't make a prediction, but I think I'm right with you guys. Like, okay, forget it. Like, I never was buying the division. Sorry, maybe that was, I'm not trying to claim any credit like I'm some smart guy. It's just maybe I just watched the Dodgers and the Padres too much. So I wasn't ever, I thought, hey, we got to pay attention to it. That would be best. It's possible. But I was always like, man, I wonder if they can get that 4 seed. I wonder if they can get a home series. I wonder, set themselves up good that way. It's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah. And look, what's happening today? Mets lost, Reds are losing. Like, it shows how hard it is to catch the Padres from behind, right? Like, at this point, they built enough of a cushion. And I don't really believe, sorry to ramble, but I don't really believe in backing into the playoffs. I don't. Kind of for what I just said. Like, if you backed in, well, what if you won 90 games? Well, you won the 90 games. Like, okay, you didn't win them at the end. I don't believe in backing in. And it's like they have won enough to set themselves up now that it's going to take them collapsing and the Reds and Giants, the Giants continuing to surge and the Reds getting better.
So on, I believe it was Monday, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't know what day it was. Post game, when Mike Shildt was discussing Michael King, he said something that was like, wait, what did you say? When talking about, we don't know what we might get from him. We don't know when he's going to maybe even return. I felt like Mike Shildt doesn't even know the availability and what he's going to get out of Michael King, because he's not even like, putting in the pen on paper. Like, he's going to start on X day. He still doesn't know. Like, what's the latest with Michael King?
Right. And that's about what I'm about to write, is that, like, they don't really know. I mean, I should have started out that way, because now it's like I'm making it worse than it is. they're leaning toward him not starting in Colorado when that was a possibility. That they're still thinking he can start next week, but he's not. They don't think he's ready to start now, and I don't know exactly why that is. I don't. But what I'm told is that it's, they were maybe thinking he was going to start in Colorado, and now they're not. So I think that might be what it is. That Mike's just like, hey, we just don't know yet. And is that great? That's why I say, guy could come back and be just fine, but he might not be just fine because we don't know. Like, we haven't seen him, and we don't know when we're going to see him. But I have not got any indication like that he's not coming back. So let's still say that Michael King's going to come back. If he's not, we get that word. Oh boy.
So, the hindsight game, you go back to the trade deadline. Remember AJ Preller, no weak links. A month later, the whole thing is a weak link, or so it feels, when you go 2-8. But the whole Freddie Fermin trade, the upgraded catcher, getting this everyday player, improving his playing kind of with the offense in mind. He's a very good defensive player as well. But you give up on Ryan Bergert and Stephen Kolek. I mean, obviously it was a costly trade. How do you think the organization is looking on that, considering what we're looking at right now with their starting rotation over the last month?
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be one of those where, with hindsight, we can relitigate it, and we can ably, I think we're justified to relitigate it because that's what we do, right? And that's what fans do, and that's even what the front office will do. We were all pretty happy with Freddie Fermin at the start. I think we'll be pretty happy that Freddie Fermin's the catcher next year, and the price was 2 guys who are probably number 5 starters. And right now, we're all looking like Padres could really use a number 5 starter if he give you 5 innings. But yeah. I just don't see how we fairly at this point say that was a bad trade or a trade that didn't need to be made. Clearly, by the fact that they brought Martin Maldonado back to Arizona, and they don't believe they have anything in Luis Campusano, at least for this year. Like, they needed a catcher. They needed to upgrade there. We all saw how that made the lineup different. I think it was a good thing he got some rest today because the guy was clearly getting tired, I think. No one will admit that, but I think that's the case. So, maybe be a little more judicious with how you play him. But yeah, it's really easy for us, and we're not wrong to say, wow, I could really use one of those guys. But hey, that's the price of doing business.
Final one, Kevin. Did Mike Shildt claim that they're done playing bad baseball at the end of that press conference today? I mean, we listened to it like 3 times, and like, what are you? I didn't know what he was talking
it a
about.
proclamation? Was he trying to speak it into existence?
Yeah, I think so. It was like a joke, little smile on his face. Right. The question, I believe, the original question before the rambling answer was about long games, and he gave the reasons for, some really good reasons. It was interesting about some long games, and at the end he declared, because all these things are going wrong, right? Injuries, pitching, mound visits, pitching changes, all these things, and he declared that that's over. So yes, speaking it into existence.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we know that now. It's over with.
I mean, it made sense. In playing it back a second and third time, that was the speculation. That's what I thought he was saying. Kevin, we appreciate it. Safe travels to Denver. We will catch up with you Fridays. The Padres get ready for the Rockies.
Take care.
All right, appreciate it. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. The Players Place. Jim's back page coming up next on Jon and Jim. Hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and now open. We've been telling you about the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It is the next level of luxury. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And now open is Jamul 23 with endless dining options. Every day you can savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at the all-new Hamul 23. From their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to their VIP endless dining experience each evening, indulge in chef-curated specialties like seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
Sports fans, you can catch the action at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. Experience the ultimate sports showdown. You can catch the Padres live, plus great food at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, where fandom meets fantastic at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. All right, so Kevin feels like we all do. Padres have lost 8 of 10, and they'll have the day off tomorrow and then play the Rockies in Denver on Friday. And Kevin will join us from Denver coming up on Friday.
Join me on Friday.
Oh, yeah, I won't be here. Enjoy that. Have fun. It's only 4 hours.
No, it's fine.
It's easy.
It's easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Tomorrow we have a short show because of
NFL
season opener.
Like Manny said, tomorrow's the NFL.
Yeah, screw baseball.
Take the day off.
You know, I'm sure the Cowboys will really compete now. So, you know, the way you'll break down that game for 4 hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on Friday.
Oh, that's right. Going off an off day into a Friday.
That's all right, because you have NFL.
Yeah, we have NFL, Aztec football this weekend.
Well, technically we have 2 because we have the Brazil games on Friday.
That's right. Brazil game on Friday. Yeah, can't wait for that.
Surprised you're not there, Jim.
Why would I be there?
That's a good point. I don't know.
I don't like either of those teams.
Okay, you make a compelling argument not to be there.
You know, that's a good. Who do I hate more? The Chiefs, who beat the Niners 2 times in the Super Bowl, or the Chargers?
You should say the Chargers.
I should say the Chargers.
Right? You know what I mean? I feel like you should just say that. But I know that in your heart of hearts, I think it's the Chiefs, to be honest with you. Right?
It's the Chargers.
Yeah, it's the Chargers.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to watch that on YouTube because I use YouTube so much.
It's the way of the world.
That
now.
I'm just excited to watch it on YouTube.
Is it true that I could be getting sentelled here, but is Mr. Beast like, never mind.
No. Is he? Is he like a sideline reporter? Hey, Chargers, if you could stay on the field with the Chiefs for 60 minutes, you're all going to come back to San Diego. Like, is there going to be like an offer? An incentive?
He did. Never mind. He did post something recently, 6 hours ago. He tweeted out, I bought the NFL and put a YouTuber on each team. And then he even has Roger Goodell like doing some fake press conference.
So maybe you're saying involved in the broadcast in some way?
I think he might be involved in the broadcast in some way because obviously he's the biggest.
Sense. He's number one influencer.
He's the number one influencer in America and
in
one of the
YouTube history.
Well, I think there's international ones that are bigger.
Oh, are there more subscribers?
Actually, maybe not.
Yeah, there's the most in the world.
Okay, most in the world. Yeah. So it would be smart of the NFL to partner
100%.
with Mr. Beast. If you know his name is Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. And his first 100 videos, he didn't reach 1,000 subscribers, right?
Right.
It's insane.
It's wild, man.
So maybe we're going to hit 200 million at some point. All right, let's get to it.
Yeah, no. Starbucks, John, is making a major move this fall by officially introducing protein lattes and protein cold foam to its menu beginning on September 29th.
Okay.
The launch, timed with the National Coffee Day, signals the company's effort to respond to growing consumer demand for high-protein beverages while expanding its customization options. The new protein lattes are crafted with Starbucks protein boosted milk, a blend of 2% milk and unflavored protein powder, providing between 27 to 36 grams of protein in a grande size.
But does that, like, are you like, hey, let's go to Starbucks and like, I just got my
shake.
lift on.
Yeah, let's go get a protein latte from Starbucks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe before.
Maybe.
Caffeine for your workout.
Here's my theory on Starbucks.
I actually buy that, Brent. A lot of people
gets your heart rate going.
Drink coffee before their workout.
Before they work out. Whenever I do it, I feel not good.
There are some like bodybuilders and like influencers that kind of just like, hey, black coffee and we're good to go.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the pre-workouts that are on the market aren't like that safe or good for you. So black coffee might do the trick.
All right.
There we go. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
His very first game-worn number 24 jersey from 2006 originally sold when it went on the market for $10,000. It's expected to go on the market here soon
for more money,
for upwards of over $1.5 million.
So 10,000. I'm assuming that it initially sold before he had passed.
That's probably my guess.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
But man, from 10K to 1.5 million. Whoa.
Yep.
That would be like crazy.
His original NBA debut jersey that was recently on the auction market. I think it was on one of my back pages. Sold for more than more than $7 million in April, becoming the second most expensive NBA jersey in history. That same jersey that was on the market back in April, that sold in April, sold for $115,000 in 2013.
Wow. Dude, the memorabilia, collectibles, trading card markets are completely on fire.
They are insane. It's become the new rich person hobby.
Yeah, because not like Mr. Wonderful's buying cards.
And because of that, it has, I'm not going to say ruined the hobby for like average Joes like me and you.
But it's changed it.
But it's made it way more expensive. Yeah. And it's not like just like a hobby that like, oh, anybody can pick it up and we can have, this card. Like you got to invest.
Of cards are like a $2,000 box of cards. When you were a kid, they're like $40. Now they're like $1,000 to buy a box of cards.
You got to invest some money
in
the card game. And finally, John, James Gunn. If I asked you who James Gunn is, what would you say? Who's James Gunn?
I mean, Top Gun.
Yeah, you got it. James Gunn, the leader of DC.
Maverick.
Not quite. Director and writer of Superman that just got released this past year. Very successful, very good movie.
Superman's been out before.
Okay. He announced today on social media, Superman 2, Man of Tomorrow will hit theaters July 9th, 2027. The big takeaway here is you won't know anything I'm talking about right now. Lex Luthor in his special.
Wrestler?
Oh my God.
That's Lex Luger, John.
Lex Luthor.
Who's that?
You get bonus points for even knowing who Lex Luger is, though.
You do, yeah. Lex
Mr.
Luthor
123 kid
is Batman's arch nemesis.
Superman's.
Sorry,
now you're
Superman.
screwing him up.
I know. John's making me all messed up. Superman's arch nemesis is Lex Luthor.
Where's he been? What? He wasn't in Superman 1, his nemesis?
No, he was, but he got, spoiler alert, he got arrested. But they put him in his Lex suit, which he uses to fight Superman. And that's the image that James Gunn put out there, kind of leading towards we're going to get a Lex Luthor in a Lex suit. In Superman
Spoiler
2.
alert, he's not going to beat Superman on July 9th, 2027.
How do you know?
Because that's how this stuff works, right? See the
Coming
winner?
from someone that never saw Infinity War, where they lost.
But they all died.
They died?
Yeah.
Spoiler
Well, then how
alert
are they
for a
still
5-year-old
around?
movie. Watch the movie and find out.
He's asking why is Superman still? Why is Superman? It's different universe, bro. Different.
It's like the NFL and Canadian football, John. They're two separate entities.
I need you to watch just one random movie. Like, if you watch Infinity War, Brent, you'd be like, what the hell is going on?
I'm not watching it. I mean, I would have to be paid serious money.
Like, if you watched Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, it'd be like,
I'll watch
what?
the T-Wolves game with you. That's fine. All right, back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.